Hashim masuk ke dalam Dewan dengan diiringi oleh Yang Berusaha Prof. Madya Teknologis Dr. Shah binti Wan Syamsuddin, Pengarah Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik, dan Yang Berusaha Dr. Nolia binti Muhammad, Timbalan Pengarah Bahagian Pengurusan dan Pembangunan Akademik, Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. Yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah binti Hashim, SME Advisor Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad. Yang berusaha Profesor Madya Teknologis Dr. Shah binti Wan Syamsuddin, Pengarah Pusat Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik CoMAE-i Uniza. Yang berusaha Dr. Nolia binti Muhammad, Timbalan Pengarah Bahagian Pengurusan dan Pembangunan Akademik, Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik CoMAE-i Uniza. Dekan-dekan dan Ketua Pusat Tanggungjawab, pensyarah-pensyarah sekalian, hadirin dan hadirat. Para hadirin yang dihormati, bagi memberkati majlis kita pada pagi yang nyaman ini, marilah kita sama-sama menadah tangan mengaminkan bacaan doa yang akan dibacakan oleh Al-Fadil Dr. Wan Anwar Fahmi Wan Muhammad, Penyelaras Inovasi Akademik, Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan Inovasi Akademik Uniza. Majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan.
Al-Fatihah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidina warhamhum kama rabbawna sighara. Allahumma innaka afuwun karimun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Allahumma iftah alaina hikmatak wa anshur alaina min khazaini rahmatik ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah lana sudurana wa yassir lana umurana wahlul 'uqdatam min lisanina yafqahu qawlana. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Allahumma faqihna fid din wa 'allimna ta'wil wahdina ila siratikal mustaqim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina 'adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Majlis merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada Al-Fadil Dr. Wan Anwar Fahmi Wan Muhammad atas bacaan doa tadi. Sayang kumbang mencari makan, terbang seiring di tepi kali. Selamat datang kami ucapkan, moga diiring restu ilahi. Alhamdulillah, setinggi-tinggi kesyukuran dipanjatkan kehadrat ilahi kerana dengan izin dan kurnianya dapat kita berkumpul lagi di Dewan Al-Muktafi Billah Shah pada pagi ini 7 Disember 2022. Pihak majlis mengucapkan terima kasih dan mengalu-alukan kehadiran tuan-puan para peserta bagi sesi ke-7 pengisian Minggu CITRA Akademik 2022. Program Minggu CITRA Akademik 2022 yang bertemakan Reimagining the Future of Global Education ini merupakan acara tahunan kali ketiga anjuran Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin. Objektif program ini antaranya adalah untuk mentransformasikan ekosistem akademik Uniza dalam pembentukan kurikulum, kaedah pembelajaran dan pengajaran, pentaksiran dan inovasi akademik yang lebih terkini sesuai dengan arus perubahan globalisasi. Di samping itu, ia juga menjadi platform untuk memperkasakan pelaksanaan Future Ready Curriculum (FRC) dalam kalangan staf akademik UNIZA secara menyeluruh sebagai mempromosikan keterlihatan jenama pendidikan tinggi UNIZA ke peringkat antarabangsa. Sidang hadirin sekalian, dunia teknologi hari ini memerlukan keupayaan graduan yang bukan saja cemerlang dalam bidang dipelajari, sebaliknya mampu diterjemahkan ke dalam dunia praktikal di dalam industri. Teknologi di dalam industri juga berkembang pesat seiring dengan dunia semasa, sekaligus memerlukan graduan sentiasa bersedia dan tidak hanya bergantung kepada kecemerlangan sijil semata-mata. Ini adalah sejajar dengan hasrat Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi yang mahukan graduan mempunyai pendedahan secukupnya dan tidak hanya berdasarkan kepada teori. Pelajar perlu bersedia menghadapi realiti pekerjaan dengan menjadikan pusat pengajian sebagai tempat untuk membentuk corak pemikiran yang dinamik dalam menyahut cabaran. Pemencutan transformasi digitalisasi dan automasi IR 4.0 memerlukan graduan berkemahiran tinggi bagi memenuhi kehendak pasaran kerja. Namun, dalam kaji selidik kendalian International Data Corporation IDC dan INTI International University and College pada 2019 mendapati tenaga kerja di negara ini pada masa depan belum bersedia menghadapi pelbagai arus perubahan revolusi industri 4.0. Selari dengan polemik yang berlaku sekarang tentang kebolehpasaran graduan di dalam industri, kita bertuah pada hari ini kerana akan mendapat pengkongsian ilmu dengan seorang pakar dari industri yang akan menjelaskan lagi tentang ketersediaan graduan bagi alam pekerjaan. Hadirin yang dimuliakan, sebelum sesi bermula, sebelum tirai ceramah dibuka, suka saya memperkenalkan biodata penceramah kita pada hari ini. Datuk Dr. Hafsah binti Hashim merupakan graduan dari Universiti Sains Malaysia dengan Bachelor of Applied Science dan juga ijazah sarjana Masters in Business Administration dari Aston University, United Kingdom. Beliau juga telah dikurniakan ijazah doktor kehormat oleh Universiti Tenaga Nasional pada tahun 2015. Honorary Doctorate of Entrepreneurship sebagai pengiktirafan kepakaran beliau di dalam pembangunan dan kemajuan perniagaan kecil dan sederhana ataupun SME. Pengiktirafan akademik juga telah diberikan kepada Datuk Dr. Hafsah sebagai Profesor Adjung oleh Fakulti Ekonomi dan Pengurusan Universiti Putra Malaysia dan sebagai Professor of Practice di Putra Business School. Beliau juga merupakan Profesor Adjung bagi Fakulti Ekonomi dan Pengurusan Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia dan bagi Fakulti Pengurusan dan Kemanusiaan Universiti Petronas Malaysia. Datuk Dr. Hafsah juga menyumbang sebagai Ahli Majlis Penasihat Malaysian Graduate School of Entrepreneurship and Business Universiti Malaysia Kelantan dan Ahli Lembaga Southampton University Malaysia. Dari segi pengalaman kerjaya, Datuk Dr. Hafsah telah berkhidmat selama lebih 36 tahun sebagai penjawat awam, sebagai pentadbir dan berpengalaman luas dalam pentadbiran awam dan pembangunan polisi. Antara kementerian di mana beliau pernah bertugas termasuklah Kementerian Perdagangan Antarabangsa dan Industri, Kementerian Pertanian dan Kementerian Industri Utama. Beliau juga telah berkhidmat sebagai Chief Executive Officer CEO SME Corporation Malaysia untuk tempoh hampir 14 tahun. Sekarang Datuk Dr. Hafsah merupakan penasihat SME untuk Bank Islam Malaysia. Beliau juga adalah pengerusi bagi Women Leadership Foundation dan beberapa syarikat lain, antaranya U Science Holding dan Serunai Commerce Sdn Berhad. Beliau juga merupakan Presiden bagi Arab Malaysian Chamber of Commerce. Datuk Dr. Hafsah juga dilantik sebagai ahli lembaga Zurich Takaful Malaysia Berhad, Sirim Berhad dan Lembaga Getah Malaysia. Dengan pengalaman beliau yang luas mencakupi pelbagai bidang perniagaan dan pentadbiran, Datuk Dr. Hafsah Hashim merupakan orang yang sangat sesuai lagi arif bagi membicarakan tentang tajuk kita bagi sesi ke-7 pagi ini. Para hadirin yang dihormati, tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah binti Hashim untuk menyampaikan ceramah beliau bertajuk Igniting Education for Industry Ready Graduates. Majlis dengan sukacitanya mempersilakan.
That's 1, 2, 3. Low, that's okay. Good. Okay. 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 Terima kasih. Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Apa khabar semua? Semalam siapa menang football? Anyway, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berusaha Profesor Madya, Technologist Dr. Shah Nor binti Wan Syamsuddin, Pengarah Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik, yang berusaha Dr. Nolia binti Muhammad, Timbalan Pengarah Bahagian Pengurusan dan Pembangunan Akademik, dekan-dekan dan ketua-ketua tanggungjawab, pensyarah-pensyarah, hadirin dan hadirat sekalian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Dan to the non-Muslim in this room, if there are any, I bid to you the universal greetings of peace, and that is salam. Alhamdulillah, pada pagi ini saya begitu teruja apabila dijemput oleh Universiti Uniza untuk sama-sama kita sembang-sembang berkenaan dengan satu tajuk yang begitu mustahak bagi saya, that is Igniting Education for Industry Ready Graduates. Dan seperti mana yang telah dikatakan oleh Dr. Shah tadi, industry ready, future ready has got a very close connotation. Yeah? Dekat. It can be industry ready, but you may not be future ready. Because future ready has got a different context altogether. Dia tak ada satu range yang begitu pendek. Future ready can mean a lot of things to so many people. And this is where saya akan bawakan sembang-sembang kita pada pagi ini. How kita boleh create what you call future ready graduates who will be and should be relevant for the industry. Because kalau tidak, permasalahan kita, problem statement kita adalah we are not able to create and to produce employable graduates because those graduates are not industry ready. Yang ini yang mustahak yang kita nak kita nak bincang-bincang dan kita sembang pada hari ini. InsyaAllah, saya akan bawa perbincangan kita kepada yang pertama sekali konteks makro on the population of the world. And I'm trying to change my slides. Doesn't work. Clickernya boleh bergerak ke? Saya point kat mana? Okay, it goes into bawah next. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a word. Okay, so dia baca tu ya. Okay. Okay, macam gini. Boleh? Dia point kat sini. Dia tergerak. Point lama sikit. Okay. Tak bergerak kat situ. Okay. Saya pakai clicker saya boleh? Pakai clicker saya boleh? Sebentar, minta maaf. I need to change the clicker. Tak bergerak. Boleh? Okay. Sekejap. Tak. Ketat. Sekarang dekat sini gerak, but dekat skrin tak gerak. Dia boleh connect tak ke pada skrin? Okay, device is ready? Ya. Saya dah klik. Ini okey dah kan gerak? Dah kat sini gerak dah. This is technology. Yang ni dah okey dah. Ya. Ni clicker ni okey. Okey. Ya, di sini gerak. Sekejap ya. Please bear with us. Boleh letak slide dekat.
Mohon bersabar ya. Kita selesaikan masalah teknikal sedikit.
Sebentar. Okey. Dia okey. Wow, slow betul gerak dia. Okey. Saya cuba nak bawa perbincangan kita kepada apa yang berlaku kat luar sana lah. Kita pergi at 30,000 feet dulu ya. So di sini kita saksikan bahawa dalam konteks ekonomi dunia, where is the greatest projected population is going to come from? Dan di sini kita perhatikan bahawa yang hijau tu, ya, yang hijau tu adalah by 2030 8.5 billion world population, dan the greatest increase in population yang akan kita saksikan adalah di Afrika. Misal saya bulan puasa, saya pergi ke Afrika dan saya jumpa dengan 3 Perdana Menteri. Perdana Menteri Tunisia, seorang wanita, seorang Islam. Perdana Menteri Uganda, dia punya hobi, dia bawa saya ke rumah dia suruh saya saksikan dia buat boxing tengah-tengah malam. Saya nak balik pukul 11, dia tak bagi. You have to watch me do boxing, training dia dengan trainer dia. And Perdana Menteri yang ketiga yang saya jumpa adalah Perdana Menteri daripada Namibia. Right? Kenapa orang mempersoalkan saya, kenapa saya pergi ke Afrika? I said that's one thing that we need to do before we go anywhere. We need to do homework. And we must know where the next source of economic growth is going to come from. And that emerging growth is coming from the African continent. Alright? Apa yang saya dapat daripada ketiga-tiga Perdana Menteri ini, kenapa saya pilih menjumpa mereka? Kenapa saya nak belajar daripada mereka? Kerana ketiga-tiga Perdana Menteri ini, in terms of dia punya management of the country, and in terms of gender diversity index, these three countries are top 10 in the world. I need to learn from. I need to know what's their secret. Bergerak saya daripada Tunisia dalam bulan puasa, bulan Ramadan, ke Uganda, ke Namibia, I got the answer. And that Prime Minister, dalam kesibukan dia, hari itu dia ada cabinet meeting, hari itu dia ada parliament session. He says, oh, because you come from Malaysia, I need to learn from you. Why you came here? Why you want to learn from me? Right? Saya diberi masa 15 minit. It lasted 45 minutes dengan dia. Itu pun dia tak berhenti bercakap. So what was that tip saya learn daripada dia? Apparently, for Tunisia at least, dia practice this policy, satu dasar yang dia dikatakan zebra policy. Wow. Zebra policy? Saya tanya dengan dia. Yeah. We practice zebra policy here in Tunisia. Sebab dari konteks dari gender diversity, if the Prime Minister is a woman, the Deputy Prime Minister is a man. If the President is a man, the Deputy President is a woman. Dan turun sampailah ke syarikat, sampailah ke peringkat universiti. Right? So kalau the Dean is a woman, the Deputy Dean is a man. So benda tu, dia kata after all in this world, the population is the fact that there's 50% almost men and women equal. So why not we give them equal opportunities? Dan data-data daripada McKinsey, daripada Grant Thornton, daripada PwC, semua telah menunjukkan bahawa kalau kita meletakkan wanita di peringkat membuat keputusan, dia akan membawa kepada Malaysia, I quote and unquote, McKinsey data, an increase of 8.2% more than the usual GDP growth, or equivalent to 50 billion US dollars. So it makes sense. It makes sense. She has gone through those data. And therefore, inilah konteks gender diversity yang saya belajar daripada Afrika. Dan di sini, apabila saya melihat by 2030, world population is 8.5 billion, right? And that's where you're going to see more and more population going to come from. That's where the purchasing power will be by 2040 and 2050. We have planned. We need to plan that way to know what is the forecast of the future. The deal is, do they have that purchasing power parity? And that's why you see the Chinese are in droves going to the African continent. Adakah kita masih duduk diam? Adakah kita masih lagi kompas kita masih lagi ke US? Adalah kompas kita masih lagi perhatikan apa berlaku di Japan, Korea dan sebagainya? Whereas this is where the next power of income and economy is going to come from. Itu yang pertama saya nak ajak kita jenguk dan kita lihat where the top countries with the greatest projected population is coming from. And did you see the red? Yang merah. Okay, ini tak boleh. Yang merah tu negeri China. Yang merah tu Europe. And that's declining. And that's declining, ini menunjukkan the aged population. Population yang orang yang tak berapa muda macam saya. Ramai kat situ. Right? Ramai kat situ. So, now we have to understand, dalam konteks kita nak buat perancangan masa depan on an industry-driven and future-ready, we must know where to focus in the context of the world punya punya strategi. Yang kedua, saya nak kena tukar slide. Okay. Dia ada delay mungkin. Slide saya dah bertukar, tapi dekat skrin tak tukar. Okay, take too much time. Jadi yang kedua apa yang saya ingin tunjukkan adalah berkenaan dengan the growth projection by region. Kalau dapat ke atas tolong tukar slide saya seterusnya. Di sini kita akan saksikan bahawa projection untuk 22 telah pun menurun from 2021. Ya, ingat kita masa COVID dulu 2020 we were all negative, but for Asia we were negative 1.0 dan dalam tahun 2021 meningkat kepada 8.6 and by 2020 for Asia 6.0 and for the world kita saksikan bahawa the world for 2022 4.4 in terms of percentage growth, tetapi telah pun di-revise balik oleh IMF kepada 3.8%. I've got issues with the slide, dia tak bergerak. Tak bergerak kat skrin atas, dia gerak kat sini. Saya ada 45 slide, so 45 kali kita kena buat ni ke? Okay, sorry. Jadi saya tukar, jadi saya dah explain tadi. Okay, let me see. Alright, now it's working. Okay, yang ini is Julai 2021. Dapat saksikan bahawa 2020 tadi saya kata negatif for Asian dan 2022 5.2%. Apa yang berlaku sekarang masa during the COVID years, kita dapat saksikan bahawa India, China, Indonesia dan sebagainya 2022 has got a slower growth than 2021, and this is across the world. Name game is a slower growth. And what's important is kita punya outlook for 2023 telah pun keluar berbagai laporan daripada IMF, daripada World Bank dan sebagainya. You are going to expect a revised growth projection daripada 3.8% to 3.6% next year. All driven by inflation, recession, Ukraine war dan sebagainya. Alright? So that will disrupt the supply chain of the world, di mana pergerakan goods and services will very much be affected. So you're going to see also dalam 2023 banyak pakar-pakar ekonomi yang mengatakan bahawa akan menurun dari konteks pertumbuhan, dan juga kita akan saksikan bahawa inflation akan berlaku dan juga recession dalam tahun 2023. Now, this is one of my favorite slide. Kerana di sini meletakkan saya dan saya faham why I have to be relevant. Saya dalam kategori baby boomers. Okay? Mak saya, atuk saya dalam kategori traditionalist. Kemungkinan pensarah-pensarah dekat sini semua, ketua-ketua jabatan, you are in the category of Gen X perhaps? Ke ada yang millennial kat sini? Oi, millennial angkat tangan. Yeah. So, di sini kita dapat saksikan satu fenomena di mana 5 generasi sekarang kerja side by side. Saya ada satu WhatsApp group. Dalam WhatsApp group ni, these are the octogenarians, 80-an. Di situ saya belajar banyak daripada mereka berkenaan dengan their wisdom. Now, understand this. You may be intelligent, you may be smart, but you need to be having that wisdom to be able to be the next leader of tomorrow that charts the direction of your future generation. Sebab kadang-kadang bila kita tak ada the wisdom, that will fail in terms dalam kita punya leadership punya strategi. Banyak perkara-perkara yang perlu kita timbang-timbangkan. Kita mungkin pandai, kita mungkin bijak, tapi that wisdom will differentiate us from the rest of the pack. Dan di sini perlunya kita tahu apa the characteristics millennial, Apa dia karakteristik Gen 2020 yang membawakan kita sekarang sebagai ketua jabatan ke, sebagai dekan ke, sebagai vice chancellor ke, kita kena relevant and be able to understand their needs and know what their wants are. Alright? Mustahak. And therefore, all these characteristics of this Gen 20 kita kena faham. Because this is where that learning becomes more relevant, more effective, and more fun for them. Right? Saya beginilah istilahnya, kita nak create the sugar that attract the ants. And what will be that sugar is dependent on us, on how you curate that sugar. And these ants keep on coming to UNIZA. Okay? So, what's important here, slide saya tak bergerak lagi. Allahu Akbar. So what does this population do? This 8.9 billion in 2030, this 7 billion in 2020. Apa yang dia orang buat agaknya this 7 billion population? Dia tak gerak. Dia kalau laju-laju dia gerak kot. Bila saya stop dia tak gerak. Ya Allah, kesiannya saya kena buka ketuk. Ya? Is it always this way? Macam mana je? Saya tak datang dekat pun tadi, tak usik pun dia. Okay. How do we do this? Sekali lagi. Okay, saya dah tukar slide. Okay. Okay. Dia dekat atas boleh control, tak boleh? Tak, dia tak gerak. Itu yang clicker. Join balik. Okay. Okay. Dia tukar kat sini, but dia tak tukar kat screen. Ini yang kata Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law, you don't know when they will come in and disturb the technology. worries. Ya, tak apa. Kita boleh cut short some slides. Oh, tahu, tahu. Okay. Online lagi bagus kan? Tak ada masalah. Saya boleh cerita tapi dia tak nampak dia gambar rajah, tak boleh nak appreciate. Okay, ya. Tadi saya berhenti kat sini. So what do we do with 7 billion people? Majority of the 800 juta dia orang bekerja di sektor pembuatan as industrial jobs. 1.7 in services, dan services tu kita rangkumkan dan kita masukkan mereka-mereka yang berada dalam peruncetan daripada ICT, daripada hospitality industries dan sebagainya, alright? Dan juga 400 adalah usahawan-usahawan. So di sinilah kita nak tengok dan kita lihat-lihat dan kita tengok 1.4 billion is in agriculture. And in this context, later dalam perbincangan kita, saya akan bawa kepada apa yang kita maksudkan dengan precision agriculture. bukan lagi agriculture ataupun pertanian yang biasa-biasa kita tahu. Alright. Now, kalau kita tengok tadi 5 generation tadi at a glance, dia dah bergerak jauh. Okay. Kalau kita tengok 5 generation at a glance tadi tu ya, kita perhatikan bahawa apa yang berlaku dengan Gen X tadi, right? Okay. Saya punya slide dah move on to something else. Okay. Apa yang kita tengok dengan Gen X at a glance, mereka ni banyak semuanya pakai phone, banyak pakai gadget, right? Analogs di sini, ya, 1965 to 1980, millennials, they are really online shopaholics yang kita dapat saksikan. Dan Gen Z kita nampak dia ada cyberpunks. Dia all semua order baju, order makanan, semua pakai online aja lah, pakai e-commerce, right? Dan kita dapat saksikan bahawa sekarang pun dah ada e-wallet dan e-payment dan sebagainya. Dan apa yang kita dapat saksikan juga, 3 in 5 shoppers are keen to use augmented reality. Saya akan bawa augmented reality sebentar lagi. So I'm going to bring you into the future of how relevant the education sector should be in the world of uncertain realities and uncertain complexities dekat luar sana. Alright? So how do we move ourselves in that context? And in this case, ada dah blueprint, bukan tak ada. And this blueprint is until 2025. Dia bergerak sendiri. Until 2025 the blueprint, ya. Dan ada kat sini ada beberapa shift dalam blueprint tersebut. And this blueprint is coming to an end. You all are in the year 2022, right? Coming to 2023. Ada diletakkan kat situ tengah di dalam blueprint itu 11 ataupun 10 perkara-perkara yang telah pun kita diletakkan oleh Kementerian Pendidikan ketika itu. Alright? Ada holistic entrepreneurial and balanced graduates, ada talent excellence, ada nation of lifelong learners, TVET graduates, financial sustainability. Financial sustainability goes into financial independence of the graduates, goes into entrepreneurial skills, yeah? Empowered governance. Bukan tak ajar pasal governance, dah ajar dah pasal ethics, integrity. That's another lecture of mine dekat UTP. UTP selalu dia panggil saya pasal governance, ethics dan integrity. Innovation ecosystem, global prominence, semua dah ada dah dekat situ dalam education blueprint ni. And also globalized online learning. And this was done in 2015. Dah letak dah pasal online learning and transform higher education. Dan ada 10 dalam shift-shift ni telah pun diperlihatkan beberapa perkara secara detail bagaimana nak diimplementasikan. Tapi bila kerajaan bertukar, saya tak pasti bahawa blueprint ini masih terpakai ataupun tidak. Saya tak pasti sama ada is someone tracking the blueprint. Dalam konteks ini, apa yang telah saya lakukan sebagai CEO of SME Corp dulu, kami juga ada blueprint called SME Master Plan. Dan apabila kami telah buat SME Master Plan itu memberi saya peluang, right? SME Master Plan keluar 2012, bulan March. By June, I was already speaking on the SME Master Plan, the Beehive. Beehive is the Parliament House of New Zealand, and it was reported by Reuters. I want to quote what Reuters said. The Malaysian SME master plan makes all other plans in the world look like knee-jerk policies, quote and unquote, by Reuters. And because of that, it was picked up by House of Lords. I spoke at House of Lords London on the SME master plan. I was invited to speak at United Nations also on the SME master plan, and lastly at the EU Parliament House in Brussels, all about the SME master plan. Now the deal is, in a master plan, the success of the plan is when you track and you monitor the implementation of the plan. I'm not too sure whether this is done. Or is it just good on paper? Is someone monitoring this plan? Because this plan looks good until 2025. I am sure, insyaAllah, Kementerian will be monitoring the implementation of this plan. Now, moving forward, as we look into those plans, and if we look outside there, though it's raining, we know that there are different critical issues that we need to ensure we must be able to address. And these critical issues are issues that is facing the millennials, that are facing your students, and that we must be able to have conversation with them. Number one, yang kita tahu sekarang is the issue of climate change and the destruction of nature. Dalam kerja saya dekat Zurich, for example, a lot of discussion on climate change. And this has been regulated by Bank Negara. All of us, the financial institution, must report to Bank Negara on regular basis the impact on financial change to the impact of climate change to the financial industry. Every quarter, kami kena hantar laporan ke Bank Negara. And that is the issue that is faced by the millennials. Saya baru saja pulang daripada the Zurich punya retreat. And what happens is what? Zurich has adopted 100 hektar tanah dekat Sabah untuk buat replanting of forest trees. Alright? Pokok-pokok yang telah ditebang untuk dapat timber. So we have already gone into 100 hektar di situ. Large-scale conflicts or wars. The Ukraine war is a big issue yang tadi saya kata disrupt the supply chain of the world. Alright? Inequality, income discrimination. Yang ini tadi yang saya cerita pasal gender. Poverty is a big issue. And China is moving into zero poverty by 2030. What have we done about poverty in Malaysia? What have we done? Ya, memang EPU kata declining. Adakah kita dah dapat zero poverty? Is that being planned? It's something that we need to have a look at. Religious conflicts, banyak yang telah diperkatakan. If any one of you have the chance to read the book, which I'm reading now, I was about to finish it last night when I fall asleep and I wanted to watch football. Need to read the book, Accidental Malay by Katrina Robina. And that's about religious conflicts. It's a good book, good English, by a local writer. And this is where I was debating about religious conflicts of individuals, of young girls and boys. All right? Government accountability and transparency, corruption. Malah nak cakap lah kan. Kita semua tahulah. And again, as I said, this is one of my favorite topic, and I've been invited to speak many times over, especially UTP sebab dia punya School of Social Science, they move straight into ethics, governance dan integrity. Food and security, this is the role of Ministry of Agriculture. Banyak nanti saya akan bincangkan berkenaan dengan precision agriculture and its impact on technology. Lack of education on some of on the opportunities for rural, especially safety, security, and well-being, and lack of economic opportunity and employment. Number 10. So these are at the back of the minds of the millennials. We, the Gen X, we, the ones who are at educational institution, we have to understand their needs and what would be their conflicts. Okay? Now the next one that we are going to do is to look into the life in 5 years from now. And these are the predictions that is not done by the millennials, but by World Bank. All right? Number one, we are seeing today a same-day cancer treatment. And I do know, as I read some data and look at some research, we are coming to close to end the cancer. Second is the autonomous driving, self-driving cars on the road. And this has happened, all right? I say has happened because when I was in Oxford, that was in 2017, 2016, saya saya kebetulan dijemput oleh Oxford untuk bagi give a talk, and also we invited the Minister of Science ketika itu to be there. So we actually brought him into the Tesla car ketika itu, right? And when I asked him, first of all, he drove the car, and after that, the car was on a self-driving mode. So I asked, sir, so how was your experience driving this electrical car? 2017 at that time. Dia kata apa? Hafsah, it's very quiet. Very quiet. Dia kata, bisikkan saya, very quiet. So kata, yeah, no sound. So dia masuk kereta, he doesn't even have to hold the steering wheel. If he wants to, he can, but the car was driving on its own. So that was the experience. So it's already on the road in some countries already. And what you're saying now is cannabis is on the rise. Why? For medical reasons, right? Dan kita nampak ketum belah pun dah dihalalkan, boleh ditanam. So this is what you're saying, by 2025 that's happening. And the fourth one, you can see 26% renewables worldwide and more to come as we go into zero carbon, as we go to renewables. I think masa saya masuk bangunan dan pindah SME Corp pada tahun 2006, we were among the first to use renewable carpets. We were among the first to use solar, solar louvers yang will harness the energy, and therefore our building was the first in the country to get the green building dekat Malaysia hari itu. Alright? So yang ini we on the rise on renewable worldwide. And what you're going to see also is sensor-enriched soldiers. Now, kenapa sensor-enriched soldiers? AI, blockchain. Yang tadi, dah bacakan CV, I'm a chairman of Srunai. And in Srunai, we use a lot of blockchain. Saya akan ceritakan macam mana blockchain juga dipakai dalam halal industri nanti. Alright? So, but soldiers here use AI. Bermaksud bahawa dengan data yang ada, yang crunch numbers, kita masuk aja bilik, dia dah tahu whether are you a terrorist or not. Alright? Macam juga saya bekerjasama dengan this gentleman, seorang tuber, tudas usahawan belia Bumi Putra. Alright? And dia berbalik pada Manchester, he wants to join my program. And in Manchester, what he do? He do degree in material technology. Alright? And he wanted to share with me his vision for Kelantan. And what was his vision? Dia nak tukarkan the Kelantan batik industry and transform it into a more digitalized punya kind of industry. So I asked him, what have you done? I said, Datuk, when Datuk walked into my room tadi, saya dah scan dah. Dia kata. Saya tahu Datuk suka warna ni, saya tahu Datuk punya measurement baju macam gini dan sebagainya. I said, wow. Right? So this is what it is today. As you speak to millennials, you speak with that kind of language as we speak to Gen Z. And the next prediction, number 6, that's coming true, is, tadi saya cerita dah, China will be free of poverty. And that is very, very, kalau dia nak free of COVID, they are going to work, they are already working towards free of poverty. 4 billion internet users of the world. Today, population of the world is about 7 billion, coming to 8 billion, and half of it is already internet users. Electric cars without range anxiety. Yang ni tadi saya cerita tadi, bila menteri naik this electric cars, dekat sana, di campus Oxford tu, dia punya charging station is every few kilometers. So senang. So bila mau balik Malaysia, I had issues in bringing electric cars to Malaysia way back semasa saya board member Green Tech Corp. Sebab I had a lot of constraints coming in from Pro 2 dengan Proton ketika itu. Tak beri masuk, bawa masuk the first 2 Tesla cars. The intent at that time was simple. We wanted to bring 2 only, right, to test on the road of Malaysia, and therefore it will give opportunity kepada usahawan-usahawan yang nak buat that station, yang buat charging station. And I just wanted to test it on a campus sahaja. And campus dekat dengan pejabat Green Tech Corp ketika itu was UKM. So nak bawa, letak 2 Tesla car kat UKM, letak charging station, let's see how it's efficient, right? So but we had issues back then. Tapi alhamdulillah sekarang BMW, Tesla pun dah ada semua dah ada electric cars. But without range, kenapa without range? Sebab ketika itu way back in 2016-17, those cars the battery can only last for 2 hours. So maksudnya kalau saya drive daripada Kuala Lumpur, saya pergi ke Melaka, I need to have another charging station. Tak ada charging station, mampui. Sesadai. Balik naik Grab. Okay? So now they have already gotten electric cars without a range anxiety. And what we're seeing also, number 9, is virtual reality to be a mega industry. And it's coming on board. You can see VR everywhere. And I'm going to show you some context of VR sekejap lagi. And also, yang ke-10, you can get a friend in Mars. InsyaAllah. Dulu-dulu, zaman-zaman saya, tak tahulah zaman you all muda-muda kan, zaman saya dulu ada pen pal. Pen pal daripada Switzerland. Pen pal daripada, ya, right? Dululah. So, ni ada pen pal daripada Mars. Who knows? Wallahu alam. And moving forward. So how do we see all this? Are we ready? Are we what you call future ready? Are we ready to prepare our students for the challenges that we are looking at today, yang 10 critical issues tu, and we're going to bring them to the uncertain promise of tomorrow. And to be able to do that, I want to use the word second time, third time this morning. We must be relevant to their needs. And this is what we talk about future-ready education. Because the future-ready education is looking into the content that is relevant to the students' lives. No more to the content of, bila kita graduate sebagai arkitek, kita kena jadi sebagai arkitek. No more. No more of that. Because it's about the livability of the students after they graduate and how they can create opportunities not just for themselves, but also for others. Ingat tadi, 400 million entrepreneurs. Ingat tadi, you are saying 1.4 billion in agriculture. Right? So those are the kind of livability opportunities yang these students, how it will future education, future-ready education will impact them. And here is where you can see that important dimensions that we must look at in terms of livability is social. The personal lives of the students, educational, cognitive, and professional skills. Tadilah, kalau tak ada professional skill, tak bolehlah dia buat keputusan. Dia kena ada kemahiran. Dia kena ada yang kita panggil the desire to learn something new. Right? Importantly, kita kena understand apa yang student-student tu keinginan dia. Sebab kalau tak adalah macam kawan saya, he's what do you call it, just to share with you, dia very successful, he's got a manufacturing plant yang produce and manufacture lab equipments, duduk dekat TTDI Hills, kaya raya, anak hajat dia, hantar anak pergi ke UK, buat accountancy. Right? One thing dia tak monitor kot. Hari yang dia pergi graduation, salah ke kita duduk dekat ni School of Music? Patutnya School of Accountancy kan? Rupanya anak graduate School of Music sebab anak suka music. You get what I mean? So you have to understand the needs of your children, of your daughters and sons, dan juga of the students. Now, so are we ready for future ready? 4 konteks yang pada saya, pemahaman saya, that we must be future ready is number 1, we must be aware around us. Walaupun dekat luar hujan, buat hujan tu can provide opportunities to us. You have to be aware of the circumstances and the situation. Number 2, we must be predictive. We cannot be predictive if we don't have the analytical skills. I'm going to bring you back to analytics afterwards. Right? And thirdly, adaptive. Not everything can suit us. Right? Tak boleh ambil semua. It's no one size that fits all. Kita boleh ambil apa yang sesuai pada diri kita. Yang sesuai kepada circumstances kita. So, I always go into this mode. You have to be aware, you must be predictive, and you must be adaptive. In short, I always call it, as I speak about future ready, apa. Apa. Aware, predictive, and also adaptive. Okay? So, to be able to do this, again, I am one person whom, if you present to me for, katakanlah nak minta budget ke dan apa semua, and you don't come up with a trend analysis, it's difficult to actually approve what you requested for, right? I go into a lot of analytical, I go into a lot of trend analysis, I go into a lot of demographics and sebagainya. And for us to be able to understand future ready, let's have a look at this.
If you're watching this, you're among the 3% of people that understand that the future of work is going to look very different from what it is now. So keep watching. Let's see where we're heading. It's also exciting, right? Siri will recognize your voice even if you're 5 meters away from your
no
phone.
voice.
That new
Tadi ada
chatbot
voice
feels
kan?
totally self-driving cars are no longer fiction. You can analyze your DNA. You tried flying that. Phones or electricity are for us today. Oh well, is this really going to happen? And if it does, you'll adapt when the time comes, right? Life is good. You love your job. You've been working for this established company for a few years. You're comfortable in your position. You know what you're good at. People like you. And that last presentation you gave got you some amazing reactions. You're safe with your company. In the meantime, you see an article or two speculating on the future of jobs. McKinsey published a report stating that 45% of all current tasks could be automated with present technology. The World Economic Forum estimates that 33% of jobs in 2020 don't even exist yet. But what do they know, right? No. You've got time. Oh look, the supermarket just introduced self-cashier machine. You're at the airport checking in luggage. What the heck happened to all the real people at the check-in desk? Gone. Replaced by machines. But it's only the low-skilled jobs, right? No, think again. In 2012, there were 150,000 humans working on Wall Street. 3 years later, automation has cut that number down to 100,000. That's 1/3 gone. But it's only the mathematical and scientific jobs, right? Nope, think again. This Japanese insurance company, Fukuoka Mutual Life Insurance, is already replacing all its human insurance claim workers with an AI system that will handle customers more efficiently. See these articles? They're written by algorithms, and we can't tell the difference with human written content. And thinking of converting yourself to being an online poker player? Too late. There's an AI that can already beat humans at it. Most journalists, tax consultants, marketeers, technicians, knowledge workers, lawyers, even the person editing this video right now will to some extent have been impacted or automated by technology in a couple of years. And what have you been doing? Probably watching Netflix. And the problem is, the machines don't wait. And the machines, they don't watch Netflix. So what are the forces at play here? Basically, there's 10 million developers out there using increasingly simple and cheap technology to build new products and services. Some as young as 12 are already coding the future. Even that safe company you work for is increasingly under outside threat. And it's not just the Google, Amazon, Facebooks, and Apples of the world that I'm talking about. There are now tens of thousands of startups out there eating away at all sorts of jobs. Now, are they creating many jobs in the process? Let's look at some stats. Travel a bunch of years back to when Kodak ruled the world of photography. They were worth $38 billion and employed 140,000 people. That's approximately $270,000 per employee.
Our people work with pride to make Kodak a creative and innovative company.
Fast forward to recent times, YouTube sold for $1.65 billion with a mere 65 employees. That's $25 million per employee. Instagram, which had 13 employees and was sold for $1 billion. That's $77 million per employee. WhatsApp sold for $19 billion with 55 employees. That's a staggering $345 million per employee. So how is this all possible? Technology has allowed the emergence of what we call exponential organizations. These are exponentially fast-growing companies that leverage technology and require less employees, but more tech-savvy ones.
You will find that we are technology optimists. We believe that technology is a major driver of change in the world.
And as software continues to eat up the world, more companies are trying to replicate these exponential companies, hire less people, but grow exponentially through technology. As this happens, job roles are slowly disappearing and being replaced by skill sets. Employers require you to know an ever-growing number of new and ever-changing fundamental skills in order to use the technologies they've implemented. Master the fundamentals and you can master the rest. A digital skills gap is growing for both mid-skill and high-skill level jobs. Before you know it, you've become irrelevant. But wait, what's this doomsday message?
Okay, so again, Murphy decided to stop by. Kita akan cuba bagi slide dekat atas. Yeah, just
Sebab yang ni dulu.
Uniza.
Sambil
Yeah,
nanti saya pulang balik.
Okay, apa yang tadi saya cuba tunjukkan is some of the the impact of technology and how we got to stay relevant. The issue is, are you still relevant in the ecosystem? Or apa yang kita nak tonjolkan is archaic, we didn't follow. Sebenarnya sekarang kita bukan lagi IR 4.0, sekarang kita dalam konteks IR 5.0 dalam negara-negara yang developed countries, ya. I'm saying this because bila anak saya graduate dan sebagainya, dan she moves into creating robot punya hands, and this robot hands must have all the sensors. Boleh the robot punya tangan boleh rasakan panas, boleh rasakan sejuk, boleh rasakan sebagainya, and that's IR 4.0 already. A lot of the world out there is moving IR 4.0. Dan kita masih lagi tertanya-tanya, are we in IR 3 or IR 2? As I was busy having this discussion together with my colleagues in 2017, if I recall, dengan my colleagues from Korea, from Japan, Vietnam and Thailand, sebab kami berlima selalu berjumpa, 12 tahun dah kita berjumpa. Every year without fail, 5 of us will meet. The 5 CEOs will meet. And myself and my colleagues from Korea and Thailand were discussing about IR 4.0. Saya punya colleague daripada Jepun diam. Then I looked at him. Sakamoto-san, are you not interested in this discussion? So he said, Hafsah-san, in Japan, IR 4.0 is taken. We in Japan are moving into Society 5.0. Saya rasa macam bodoh sangat ketika itu. Sebab the first thing that came to my mind was Malaysia ever in this reign of Society 1.0. Luckily my laptop is in front of me. Saya dengan cepatnya, I quickly put in Society 5.0 dan barulah saya faham sebenarnya the Society 5.0 complements the implementation of IR 4.0. Kenapa? Their problem statement was, that time, Japan is faced with increasing percentage of the aged population. They need the IR 4.0 to be able to address the issue of the aged population, and therefore they moved into Society 5.0. Now what you're looking at today, all right, is about disruptions. Disruptions to the livability of our lives. Dalam konteks culture, dalam konteks technology, science, health, business and society. And nobody ever thought of COVID back then. Okay? Dan apa yang berlaku, right? I hope my slides are working. Apa yang berlaku in terms of the culture predictions, dah laju sangat pula dah. Okay? In terms of the technology prediction, yang kita dapat lihat in culture, right? The future of work telah pun berlaku. Dekat sini the future of work kita dah banyak dah work from home, right? And hari itu bila saya ada town hall dekat USM, one of them berani stood up and mentioned that, Datuk, can we have that work from home be made permanent and not temporary? I said, yes. Why not? Because I learned from Kazana, my son who works in Kazana. In Kazana, there are 3 days mandatory, 2 days is up to you. You can come to office or you can opt to work from home. And that will resolve the transport issue in Kuala Lumpur. Okay? So that's something that you all may want to think about. And I believe that kalau kita move into that space, that you can get international students from all over the world that can log in into your programs online. Hari itu, masa I had this, online lecture dekat UTP, I recall I was quite worried when I came in to speak for the first 10 minutes. There were only about 36 or something like that. By the time I finished my lecture, I had a surprise when somebody pointed out to me, Datuk, you had 326 students and 70% is from all over the world. So what I'm trying to say is, this is something that you may want to have a look at, right? In terms of internationalization of your programs, you may want to have a look at this future of work into having online lectures be made permanent. Millennials workplace, yang ini juga tadi kita dah cerita pasal work from home. Future of energy, I've already discussed with you about electric cars, and that's something that you will have to live with. And sekarang everywhere we go, dekat shopping complex ke, kat hotel ke, semua ada charging station. So tak risau lagi dah pasal electric cars, right? And you can do your bit in contributing to zero carbon. And future of policing, I mentioned to you about predicting crimes before it happens. So, sekarang masuk aja balai polis boleh tahu dah kita punya demographic makeup dan who are you dan sebagainya. Boleh baca dah kalau kita ada that kind of technology in place dekat balai-balai polis. What we're seeing also, the next one is the technology predictions. Future of transport, I mentioned to you a lot about autonomous driving, self-driving cars and flying cars. Now, cerita flying car ni bukan macam drone tu. Yang menteri tu cakap it's actually a drone. But cerita flying cars, in my work, I was put in charge of aerospace technology, alright? Dalam kerja saya, right? And the deal is I was supposed to develop 10 SMEs, world-class SMEs that will provide the flying parts to Boeing dan sebagainya. And therefore, Boeing bawa saya ke Toulouse di Paris, Toulouse dekat France. And in Toulouse, what happened was they were actually trying out their flying car. Dia tunjuk saya video of the flying car. That video of that flying car is where an ordinary car, a very innocent car, alright? And then kalau kita press a button, so he press a button, the pintu kereta tu terbuka, and that becomes a flap, like your wings, a flap. And you tekan another button, this flying car, dia macam helicopter, right? Dia tak ada runaway. You press another button, the car just go up, and you can resolve all those macet punya problem, and also traffic congestion. And you just come down to wherever you want, right? Tak payah ada heli landing pad dan sebagainya. So, from Toulouse, he brought me to Paris punya air show. And Boeing wanted me to get into a real flying car. So there was in that real car. The only thing saya tak buat, I didn't press the button to fly. I only managed, saya cuma press that button where the doors open and it becomes like a wing. I didn't press that button to just go up. Because then, he was persuading me, said, it's okay, next time I'll come back and I press that button. So flying cars is something of the future that you may want to have a look at. Cloud computing becomes decentralized. You can see a lot of work on this. Now, the concept of skies becomes abundant. Yang ini konsep Air Asia lah, where everyone can fly. Now, this one, saya tunjuk Wagyu beef dengan tuna steak. Now, kenapa saya tunjuk Wagyu beef? Because masa saya di Jepun, and I was in the Prime Minister's delegation, the Hokkaido punya Wagyu Beef Association jumpa saya. Can I bring you to Hokkaido? I want you to help me to turn the Hokkaido beef into halal beef. I said, wow. I said, I've only got 2 days extra. I'll give you the train ticket. You follow me to Hokkaido, and then advise me, please, how can we make our Hokkaido beef the halal beef of the world, the Wagyu beef, right? So saya pergi, I was not prepared, I didn't have my wellies dan sebagainya, didn't realize bulan Mac ketika itu that the snow was that deep. So saya keluar kereta and put my foot, terus snow sampai sini, okay? But saya masuk dan saya pergi ke tempat dia dan saya perhatikan, wow, dalam satu dia punya cows dia punya lembu dia besar tidak, sebesar tidak, 3 kali size, 4 kali size kita punya lembu. Nombor 2, this is what you call precision agriculture, where dia punya food, dia punya meal, dia punya air, dia punya apa semuanya telah pun disalurkan automatic kepada si lembu ni at precision timing. That's what you call precision agriculture. Nombor 3, dia punya waste are all being very nicely, tak ada bau, tak ada apa, harum. Kayu masuk landang lembu bau sedap. Harum. Alright? And the other thing that I noticed, saya masuk, I was being fed by Beethoven. The whole landang lembu, Beethoven. So I asked, wow, Beethoven, lembu-lembu kat sini dengar Beethoven? So dia cakap, yes, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven dan sebagainya, kerana it makes them calm. dia kata. So the lembu-lembu tak boleh nak mengganas, kena calm. Barulah dia punya daging dia tu sedap. Bayangkan kalau kita letakkan dengan zikir dan sebagainya dekat lembu-lembu tu. So that one tak belum test that impact. But that is my my experience di ladang lembu di Hokkaido. Now, perkataan scarce becomes abundant menggunakan stem cells. So yang ini daripada stem cells, so dia boleh create. You must remember ya, Wagyu beef is expensive, tuna steak is expensive. They want to create it to become abundant, like everyone can fly, so that using the stem cell technology, dia boleh replicate that Wagyu beef and tuna steak, make it affordable for all Japanese to eat Wagyu beef and also tuna beef and tuna steak. Alright, ini menggunakan kaedah stem cells, and also military lasers defined the future of military. Yang ini yang macam Star Wars lah tu, pakai laser dan sebagainya. So that's something that yang technology prediction that's coming along, and telah pun berada sebenarnya, and how we make it and to be commercialized. Yeah. Now the next one, as we talk about technology predictions, the next that I would like to discuss with you is about how tadi electric cars. Yang ni belum tukar slide, tapi my slide will show that in terms of market cap, yeah. Sorry. Don't use the clicker anymore. Okay, manually upstairs. Next, please. Okay. Yang kita cerita pasal electric cars tu tadi, alright. Now, as we work with tadilah yang macam kita kata tadi, Proton dengan Pro 2 were in so much hesitation bila saya nak bawakan Tesla masuk, ya, the first two electric cars. But look at what happened. This is December 2020 punya data. Kita perhatikan Toyota plus Volkswagen plus Daimler plus GM, BMW, Honda, Ford semua 582 billion market cap. Yang seorang ni, Elon Musk ni, from nowhere came and he clocked in straight away 578 billion. Just one car. So there's something right there that none of this Toyota, Volkswagen, Daimler semua saw. Ni jangan jadi macam cerita Kodak tadi itulah. Sorry, that video kalau Kodak tu, kalau dapat that video dimainkan balik, it will very, the message is so loud. The message is so loud why we need to pay attention to future-ready technologies. Ingat, apa, aware, predictive, and you must be able to understand the scenario around you. Alright? So, next please. So from here, I want to share with you the health predictions. So some of you who are in the health school dan sebagainya, the future of health. Kita dah ada e-medical records, right? And this was done much earlier. Semasa saya di Pharmaniaga sebagai chairman of Pharmaniaga, I moved into Doctor on Call. Doctor on Call must have on its platform the e-medical records and also the e-doctors. Sebab di situlah the doctors will prescribe and Pharmaniaga will now send the medication to the patients. And masa zaman COVID hari itu, it was so much apparent, tak boleh keluar rumah. So that Doctor on Call became so very relevant. Alright, and you'll see also will be enhanced ambulatory services, and there will be a beginning and end to cancer. Just we have predicted on the 10 things that will happen in until 2025. Next slide. I just want to share with you on how some of these things can be look different as you look into future of health. And I hope this video works. Boleh tak klik dekat video tu, dekat bawah tu yang hitam tu ada where you can start the video. Move your clicker, move your tu kepada kat bawah. Atas perkataan ambulance drone. Jangan tekan next. Pergi ke hitam tu, frame hitam. Antara frame hitam dengan frame putih tu ada volume please.
112 operator, what is your emergency?
It's my dad. I think he had a heart attack.
Boleh volume tinggikan.
Please stay calm. What's your name?
Joanna.
Good, Joanna. We've got your location. The ambulance drone is on its way. Remove his top shirt to uncover his torso.
Okay.
Great. Can you go to the nearest exit? The ambulance drone is almost there.
Okay. I'm outside.
I'll be talking through the drone now, so you can put down the phone. Now please pick up the drone
At least the video is.
and bring it to your father. You're doing great. Okay, pull the green lid. Now place the pads on your father's chest. Good, I can see that the pads are properly applied. Joanna, please stay clear of your father. We'll take it from here.
Hi, I'm Alec Momon. I'm a graduate student at the TU Delft working on a project for Living Tomorrow and UZ Gent. Our vision is to improve current emergency infrastructure with a network of drones capable of saving lives. At over 100 kilometers per hour, these drones create an ultra-fast response system capable of increasing this survival chance from 8% to 80%. This is because the ambulance drone is not affected by current road infrastructure, but is capable of flying in a straight line, bringing down the average response time of an ambulance from 10 minutes to 1. We developed a new type of drone that is capable of folding into a very compact position. The drone essentially becomes a flying toolbox for your emergency supplies. Using advanced production techniques such as 3D printed microstructures and carbon fiber frame construction, we were able to achieve a very lightweight design. Our iterative process using design sketching, laser cutting and CNC milling allowed us to rapidly visualize our ideas. The result is an integrated solution that is clear in its orientation and friendly in appearance. Let's use drones for a good purpose. Let us use drones to save lives.
Why am I sharing this? Why am I sharing this video ambulance drone? I did a lot of work on drones. Semalam saya pencen 2018. Around 2015 to 2018, that time, drones baru lagi, right? And I have more than a dozen who appear before me to get funds from me to do drones. I asked them a lot of questions in terms of range, in terms of material using dan sebagainya. Drones for many purpose lah yang datang jumpa saya ni dan dapatkan grant. Drones untuk teknologi, untuk agriculture, drones untuk military dan drones untuk sebagainya. And naturally, lepas saya pencen dan saya dijadikan sebagai pengurusi farma niaga, I wanted to use drones for farma niaga. Alright. Because kalau tidak, masa banjir gitu, tak adalah masalah kita nak hantar supply of medical supplies kepada tempat-tempat yang kena banjir. So so with that, saya bekerjasama dengan Cranfield University because they happen to know me very well, and when I got into conversation pada mulanya cerita pasal glove dengan Cranfield University. But when we got into discussion of drones, they were so excited that istilahnya macam saya tahulah cerita pasal drone ni, and they wanted to supply the drones to farma niaga. Until bila tukar government, saya telah diminta untuk dihentikan saya punya term as pengurusi farma niaga, and I believe that farma niaga was not able to continue that conversation to bring drones. Kalau tidak, kalau masa musim-musim banjir, senang kita gunakan drones for to send supplies or medical supplies. So my next slide is the fact that I wanted to share with you also the tadi kita cerita pasal prediction of health dan now business prediction, that's future retail. Interestingly, ini kerja saya sebenarnya future retail dengan Monshaat. Monshaat is a Saudi Arabian SME Development Authority. Bila mereka dapat tahu saya bersara pada 2018, one of the first things they did, saya bersara bulan 8, bulan 12, they appoint me on the board of Monshaat. Alright? So Monshaat ada, kerana apa dia letak saya kat dalam board? Kerana dia nak guna pakai, dia punya war cry dekat Saudi is Saudi 2030. That's their war cry, right? So dia nak pakai, nak pastikan bahawa belia-belia dekat Saudi tu nak diguna pakai untuk create businesses for their people. Because they can see by 2050, dia punya oil would have depleted to so low, they need a second strategy to ensure the economy will survive in Saudi. So they brought me in as a board member, and in Monsha'at, what we put on board is the word retail itself, and how we define and redefine the supply chain management di Saudi Arabia. How we look into dekat sana, cashless transaction. Right? Saya baru balik umrah. I'm very much in awe of the modernization and digitalization walaupun nak masuk Masjidil Haram dan nak masuk Raudah. Tak ada apps, tak boleh masuk. And you kalau pakai orang lain punya phone, nak masuk Raudah, they know it's not your phone. Right? And duduklah dekat luar. Jangan nak marah dia. That's not your phone. Nawai itu kita kena betul. Kita nak kita punya phone and dia punya beep tu must be there. It must be live. Kalau dia tahu, kalau you buat screenshot of another person's phone, you're not allowed inside. They know it's a screenshot. Your phone must be beeping and the light must be on. Pada siapa-siapa yang dah pergi ke Raudah baru-baru ni. Alright? So, this is what future is all about. Cashless transactions, a lot of it dekat Saudi. I was told tak payah banyak bawa cash, melainkan kita nak bagi sedekah dekat luar tu. Everything is about cashless. And also, you can see that extreme wealth inequality signals global destabilization. Apa yang berlaku semasa saya, next one, semasa saya di Monsha'at, and I was trying to advise them on what do we do with the Arabs, yeah, the unemployed Arabs, is the word retail itself. Dalam the next slide, please. And the first thing that we did was, I need to recalibrate. I need to know the data of youth dekat Saudi. So we recalibrated, we look at the data, we crunch those numbers. I need to energize Arab tu, alright? And how do we energize them? We need to put them into programs, right? So they wanted me to use the same tiup program kat Malaysia, nak buat tiup dekat Arab Saudi. So saya kata, dekat Malaysia tu dia pun masuk camp, kat Saudi nak pergi mana? Nak pergi desert ke? So, so something that they wanted me to replicate. We transform them, and of course it's all about agility on how those ideas are being put together and be agile and not carved on stone. Ingat ya, even you have any master plan or any blueprint, it must be a living document. It cannot be something that's carved on stone, sebab circumstances change very fast. So it's got to be agile, all right? Of course it's led by this overused word, innovation, and here is the deal. Local companies with an international outlook. And that's what we put retail on board. Now, the next slide on retail should be able to tell you on how kita tengok apa yang berlaku dulu and that kita tak tukar. Macam cerita Kodak ceritanya. Alright? Next slide, please. And dalam konteks ini kita dapat lihat bahawa pada those of you who belajar dekat US dulu, all these companies are very, very very familiar. Over 10 years, kalau kita tengok dia punya value, market cap dia, 2006 hingga 2016, this is before COVID ya, business as usual. Kita nampak for CS is minus 94% change from 14.3 billion down to 0.9. JCPenney semua tukar, Nordstrom, all decline, semua decline, except for Walmart. 214 naik pada 243 with a 15% change. Can anyone tell me what did Walmart do which others didn't do? Ada guess? Anyone? What did Walmart do over that 10 years period? Yang lain tak buat, Target tak buat, Macy tak buat, Nordstrom tak buat. Ataupun lambat buat. Anyone? Yeah? E-commerce, betul. They go into e-commerce, they go into digitalization. The next slide, let's see what happens, the next one. Next slide. Amazon, daripada awal lagi. They overtake in 10 years from 17.5 billion to 474.4 billion, which is a whopping 2,700 increase. Because dia daripada awal, dia masuk into the retail business, dia dah terus buat into online and into digitalization of their business. And that's today, minta maaf lah, saya cerita, as I speak to you, my own experience, dalam insurance industry, Zurich, for example, I keep on breathing their neck. We need to digitalize. And the first thing they ask me, Dr. Hafsah, does it mean that we have to take off all the agents? Well, be it. We retrain those agents to something else. Maknanya, nak buat claim, nak dia apply for insurance, just pakai apps. Right? That's how it is. Saya belajar dengan Jack Ma, this principle of 3210. Right? Because Jack Ma, I was working together with him, he was so inspired, dia nak bagi microfinancing online. So he says, he moved into this 3210 concept. So what is this? 3 minutes application online, 2 minutes processing by his officers, 1 minute disbursement, and 0 human intervention. So that's how. The world is moving that way. We, in terms of education and relevancy of training our students, have we programmed our students to turn that way? Let's look at it, all right? So, how is the next slide, please? The next, the shopping will be like. Can I have the next slide on shopping that looks like in 2027? Can I have the volume on, please? Pergi ke tempat putih tu, kat bawah tu, and then click. Jangan tekan enter. Volume, please. Okay, so what you're saying is that it's all about the experience of digitalization in terms of the retail industry. Dah berlaku dah pun sekarang. Dah berlaku dah sekarang. In fact, saya had this first experience dengan Tesco. Bila saya order pada Tesco, dia dah ada dah saya punya data. And dia dah tahu dah dalam fridge saya, lepas saya dah order dah 1 dozen telur dan ayam dan sebagainya, dalam minggu depan dia akan hantar balik message pada saya. Alright? I noticed that your last order was, on this date. Can I send you again 12 eggs and 2 chicken and a carton of milk dan sebagainya. So this is where, in the next slide, what is happening in the retail business is where the smart gets smarter. And kita perlu ajar kepada student-student kita ini berkenaan dengan the impact of AI, artificial intelligence, the impact of VR that you can see is being used in in the retail business as well as the IoT. It's all about trust. Saya rasa dekat negara-negara barat tak ada masalah pasal trust. But somehow we have got issues here on the basis of trust. Kadang-kadang kita order online yang datang tumbuk sambal tu kan. Right. So this is the things of trust. When we have that trust, barulah benda ni akan berlaku. But what you can see is that the future, kita punya Gen Z, kita are moving into that way. Next slide please. where the smart get smarter and the fast get fierce. Because the velocity of the technology would define how relevant our business is. And in this context, kita nakkan kita punya students kita bila dia keluar, as I said, financial independence, sustainability of their life, livability. What can they offer to the future? And they have to understand, when the technology is fast and it gets fierce, they have to know and be aware and be predictive of what's happening around them. And the next one, this is about the personalization gets perfected. Next slide. Next slide. Yang ini yang kadang-kadang bila kita masuk hotel shock tau. Bila letak kita masuk dia dekat screen tu tulis welcome back Datuk Hafsah. Oh, they got my data. Alright. This is where personalization gets perfected, and it's all about the future world as everything is going to be based on services. Tadi kita nampak that majority of the business, right, dekat Waimah, dekat Malaysia ni pun, bila saya jadi CEO 2004, saya tak ada data. Saya tak ada data, main agak-agak aja. So, ahli-ahli yang berhormat dekat Dewan Negara, dekat Dewan Rakyat tanya, berapakah peratus bilangan PKS yang berdaya saing? Mengigau saya nak menjawab. Because I don't have data. So, but the first time, when we did a census 2004, it cost the government 87 million ringgit. Right? The first census ever on SME. The first ever. Sekarang dah ada 5 kali dah buat census tu. Now, di situ baru kita nampak, sebenarnya yang kita wawarkan banyak tu, manufacturing cuma 7% ketika itu. The last census manufacturing is only 5.9%. Right? Yang banyak is the services sector. The services sector is 87%. And majority of the services sector, 43% adalah peruncitan, adalah retail business. So bila kita tahu data-data macam gini, barulah kita boleh buat satu plan. I believe in the principle, what you cannot measure, you cannot plan. When you cannot plan, you cannot manage. You need data. You need data. Dah ada data, barulah kita boleh plan. Barulah kita boleh buat menguruskan program-program dekat negara kita ini. And this goes into the value add that comes to it is where personalization gets perfected, because it goes into the branding of the whole entire game plan. Alright? So, yang ini is where the context is as we move towards the next level. What's important is tadi, as we go into this context, kita kena tahu apakah the 3 trends that will accelerate in 2023. Can we move on to the next slide? And next slide, please. Saya begitu kagum dengan this work of AI. In 2016, just before PRU 14, right, I had a work on this artificial intelligence on what you call precision agriculture dengan salah seorang daripada usahawan who came back from US. Dia banyak buat kerja dekat US, dia kerja dengan US government with di situ. And he's the brains behind the US punya technological system. Dia dah penat dah ketika itu dengan George Bush, then the president. He came back and he started to want to do his own business. And he won that 1 million award daripada SME Corp on innovation. So what did he do? What did he do? With that 1 million award, saya tanya dengan dia, nama dia Rashid. Cik, dengan 1 juta ni Cik nak buat apa? What was his answer? He said, I want to create 4 of me. Wow. So how do you create 4 of you? So what he did was, dia pergi ke university di Malaysia. Ambil first class electrical electronics graduate from UKM. Pergi ke UTM, ambil first class graduate. And then pergi ke UM and USM. He invested 250,000 in each of these graduates. Alright? And he created 4 different companies in addition to the company that he had. So what did he do? One of them is on AI. Ini berlaku tahun 2014, 15. Alright? So with AI, what Rashid has done is similar what these Chinese people have done dekat China, right, on this digital village. So what he created was, dia tanam, dia dapat our current Minister of Defence, Tok Mat Hassan, ketika itu bagi dia, masa itu dia Menteri Besar, so bagi dia a plot of land 6 hektar dekat Negeri Sembilan. Dengan 6 hektar tu dia pakai orang kampung. And the deal is, senang aja, tanam cili. Right? Daripada tanah tu terbiar, dia tanam cili 6 hektar. And with that 6 hectare, I remember the story because I presented to the Prime Minister and to 25 ministers on what Rashid has done. And 6 hectare chili, that chili, 6 inches long, exact. Tak krepot, tak betul, tak apa semua. Exact 6 inches long. All the chilies. In terms of QC, memang pass, high class. Farmer bagi AAA category. In terms of warna merah, exact, kalau Pantone color tu merah tu, exact rate, 6. And of course, therefore, because Pharma bagi the AAA category, it fetches 4 times the price of the market. And in terms of yield, it's 3 times more than the ordinary yield in the market. And that's what the Chinese have done. Malaysia dah buat dah, tak ada strawberry, kita buat dengan chili. And this story was 2016. So, Tok Mat Hassan at that time was so pleased, PM was so pleased because I brought and presented to PM. He says, he talked to Tok Mat Hassan, can we get from 6 hectares to now 6,000 hectares? Dalam keadaan itu, gunggang, PRU 14 pun masuk. So, as you know, the results, so the project was abolished. All right? But again, Rashid went on to do different things. What you saw, RFID, is also the second company of that electrical electronic student buat dengan dia. That RFID yang kita nampak dekat apa namanya, dekat jalan raya. And this RFID, kerja dia bukan sekarang. It was way back sebelum 2010 lagi. Tapi nak dapatkan the JPJ dan juga PLUS punya approval dan semuanya takes a long time. I did the cabinet paper myself, right, to get the approval. But it took a long time dari konteks birokrasi itu panjang. So, of course, the RFID needs to be perfected, as you can see today. But what I'm trying to say is, kita dah bergerak ke situ. Dah bergerak. It needs to be accelerated dan dipercepatkan. And our Chinese, have already done it. You can see dekat strawberry dekat China, when they do this AI, and you call precision farming, in terms of weight, is 196% higher, and ROI is 75% higher. So, and I'm sure that I think for now, Rashid is now moving into other things with 2 others daripada technology. Next slide, please. Now, as we embark into artificial intelligence, we are moving into Elon Musk again. So, what did Elon Musk kata? The pace of progress in artificial intelligence is incredibly fast. Unless you have direct exposure to groups like DeepMind, you have no idea how fast it is. It is growing at a pace close to exponential, all right? And the risk of something seriously dangerous happening in the 5-year time frame at 10 years at the most. Now, I want to take the word exponential. Sebenarnya tadi dekat video yang pertama tu, what you're seeing tadi, there was one guy that is called Salim Ismail. Salim Ismail is Egyptian-American. He is the owner, the founder of Exponential Organization DUS. He is the go-to person in terms of technology. I'm inviting over Salim Ismail to Malaysia tahun depan. Alright? I had conversations with him. Saya jumpa dia masa dekat Bahrain. And I'm so in awe dengan kerja-kerja yang dia buat sebab Mak Salim ni semua look up to him in terms of the future technology, what's going to happen next. So this is what it is, autonomous solution. Sebab dia boleh replicate human intelligence, right? And it's moving into that direction tadi yang saya kata, even anak saya punya punya project, final year project, dia punya robot dia belajar dekat Jepun, Kyoto. Dia punya robot punya fingers must have those sensory perception. Robot dia kena tahu bila panas, bila sejuk, bila dan sebagainya. Alright? So it's moving into that on how they want to replicate human intelligence. And the next one, next slide please. The next slide is about quantum computing. And those of you who are in the IT world, you understand this. You understand that the process solutions must be done in parallel rather than sequential. something that is out of the mind blowing. Saya bulan lepas Disember, bulan November, awal November, saya dijemput pergi ke Amman to speak. Alright. And guess what? And these are all, I'm the only Asian. The whole room is full of Arab. It's full of Arab because it's Arab SME Summit. Alright. I feel so small because they were talking about metaverse. The Arab continent is talking about metaverse. Kita dah masuk ke this world of quantum computing. Alright? So let's look, can you tekan enter please? And look what China is doing. Tekan enter please. So in China, what happens is that they have moved beyond quantum computing. Because China has achieved what you call quantum supremacy. Can I get you to tekan enter please? Siapa yang jaga slide? Because here is where I want you to check. Dekat China, dia ada what you call this computer Zhujiang. And Zhujiang is 1 trillion times faster than the Google supercomputer Sycamore. So where are we today in Malaysia? Where are we today? We need to have a relook at ourselves. Tadi saya kata kita kena recalibrate diri kita sendiri in terms of knowledge. Are we telling our students the right things to do? Are we telling our students that as we move forward, they need to be relevant to the ecosystem? And that is so very important. So here, saya didedahkan this Zhujiang by my nephews. Saya didedahkan oleh Metaverse with the young Arabs dekat Amman last few weeks. I know my nephew has been telling me about Metaverse banyak kali. Dia kata, auntie, you have to go into the Metaverse punya universe dan sebagainya. Saya okay, one day I will. Tapi bila saya tengok Arab ni semua cakap pasal Metaverse, oh, yang ini menggugat, menggugat ilmu saya. I need to know how this Metaverse will impact kita punya industry in the future. All right. Now, as we move forward, I'm going to my last few slides. Right? Can I tekan enter, please? What you're looking at is that, to me, as you tekan enter, yang dekat atas sana, managing the slides, you will see that you all here as educators are actually leaders in your own way. And as leaders, seperti mana yang kita tahu, leaders ni, you create the path. Kita must be seen 10 steps ahead of the rest of the pack. We must be ahead in terms of knowledge. We must be ahead in terms of information. Barulah kita boleh bawa student-student kita bersama dengan kita. And remember this, you are not a leader, you are not an educator if you don't have any followers, if you don't have any students. And therefore, it is important for us to ensure that as leaders, as educators, we have to have that level of knowledge that is 10 steps ahead of the rest of the pack. Okay? Next slide. And here I'm talking about the future-ready educators. If you tekan enter again, please. Because if you look into the 3 emerging competencies of the future-ready educators, again, saya kata tadi, you need to recalibrate. You need to rethink about your mode of education. Today is not just education, beri and suka tingkau lah, dapat ke tak dapat, that's your problem. No, that's not the deal. The deal is about how you want to influence them to understand the concept of the education. And tadi saya nak balik kalau boleh video pertama, the first study yang video tu is all about are you still relevant in the ecosystem? Check balik. Kita ni masih relevan ke dalam knowledge kita? Kita belajar dulu, saya belajar dulu lain. Alright? Dan apa yang berlaku sekarang, ekosistem kita dah bertukar lain. Yang kedua is about collaborative communication. This is where kita leverage on people punya strength. Kita tak tahu semuanya. Allah, saya ni tak tahu semua. Tapi bila saya bercakap dengan orang, saya network dengan orang dan saya are able to discuss, I find that it's much faster, it's much richer, and it's much better. Because bila kita collaborate, right? Tadilah yang beberapa collaboration that I've had when the Cranfield University found that I was so much interested and so into discussing about drone, so they wanted to bring me in. We wanted you to be part of our drone punya team. So I said, wow, at this age saya dah nak masuk umur nak dekat 70 ni, nak cerita pasal drone pula dah dengan Cranfield. Something that if you move into this collaborative communication, you will see that relationship you have personalized with others will be able to make things faster and accelerate the process, right? And it's learning and development. Pada saya tadilah, walaupun saya nak dekat 70 ni, masih lagi nak belajar, masih lagi nak tahu apa dia tu metaverse, masih lagi nak belajar apa dia this quantum computer supremacy dan sebagainya. Because otherwise I'll be talking different language with my children. Simple. The next day I woke up, I must ask, so semalam Switzerland menang ke siapa menang? So I have communication with my children. I have communication with the millennials. I've got communication with the Gen Z. I need to communicate. I need to talk. Right? Tanya Ton M. Kalau kita tak bercakap, cepat tua dah. So we need to communicate. And to be able to communicate, kita kena ada knowledge. And to be able to have knowledge, you got to read, baca, and get information as much as possible. Saya letak gambar saya dengan Jack Ma. Tadi saya ceritakan beberapa projek-projek yang saya buat dengan Jack Ma. And one of the things that we did was to put SMEs online. Alright? Saya masih belajar lagi. Right? So, saya diberi target oleh PM ketika itu. He wants to see in 3 months, 1,500 new SMEs are online. Online business. So, that's the deal he gave and with together in front of Jack Ma. Alright? So, bila Jack Ma datang 3 months later, saya panik sebenarnya on how I'm going to drive this 1,500. Macam mana nak masukkan mereka jadi buat online business. They must undergo training program, kena tahu macam mana nak tekan gambar dan sebagainya. Not easy. Right? It's a whole process. And I have to have 1,500 in 3 months throughout Malaysia, termasuk Sabah dan Sarawak. So everybody look at me, I say, good luck to you, Hafsah. You got this. Alhamdulillah. After, when Jack Ma came back 3 months later from that conversation, and PM made announcement, and what did he say? Hafsah did not deliver 1,005. Semua orang, mampulah Hafsah ni. Right? She delivered 1,973, dia cakap. Right? So maksud saya tu, kalau kita keep on having this collaboration, and we keep on telling people on the positivity of how things can create a change, then we can get this concept of understanding this future ready punya environment. Now the next slide. What I want to discuss is when you are educators and you are leaders, you yourself must undertake what you call transformational leadership. And there are 2 parts in terms of transformational leadership. One is about yourself, diri kita sendiri. Alright? That is, you lead yourself. But the second part, as you can see, is about you also have to lead others. Nama pun leader, pemimpin. Pemimpin nak pimpin orang. Tetapi sebelum kita pimpin orang, kita kena pimpin diri kita sendiri. So kita kena check on some of the things on how, bila kita pimpin orang, we got to decentralize decision making. And that's something that a lot of people sukar nak buat. Macam mana kita nak decentralize? Alright? This is where kita nak kena challenge what you call the status quo. Sekarang seorang pemimpin semua keputusan dia nak buat. But I found that when I start to empower my C-suite, alright, C-suite -1, my C-suite, and give them slightly more power, you can see they take ownership of the responsibility. So likewise, sebagai seorang pensyarah, kodlah, bagilah tugas-tugas kepada ketua pelajar dan sebagainya. They will feel so empowered, then they will feel they are part of your ecosystem. They want to do it for you. Alright? This is something which I practice and I found that it's very, very impactful. And as you develop leaders, this is where you look into, dalam konteks ini, saya selalu ikut contoh Rasulullah. Sidik, amanah, tabligh, fatanah. Right? Kejujuran kena ada, niat kena ada. Kita buat ni kerana Allah, bukan kita buat kerana siapa-siapa, kerana Hafsah tu nak famous. Tidak. Kita buat kerana Allah. Niat kena betul, jujur. Amanah comes without saying. Kalau kita jujur dan amanah, senang dunia ni. But the next part of it, tablik and fatanah. Tablik tu bukan kumpulan tablik. Tablik tu apa yang kita ajar kepada orang. Jangan kedekut. Jangan kedekut. Selalu orang kata chef tu kalau ajar dia, sebenarnya chef tu tak ajar semua, ada yang disimpan. Sebab tu dia orang asyik order dengan chef tu aja. Jangan kedekut. Tablik, alright? Disuruh kita, kalau kita turunkan ilmu, kita turunkan semua. Dan kalau boleh more than what we need to do. Because remember this, for as long as mereka menggunakan ilmu yang kita ajar kepada mereka, insya-Allah kita dapat pahala. Right? Kalaulah pahala tu boleh bunyi ting ting ting, penuh dah kita punya bekas dah. Jangan simpan-simpan. Give everything, right? And also, dalam konteks kita nak inspire and align with mission and lead the change and know the way, ni yang tadi saya kata. As educators, you have to lead the way. You have to be 10 steps in front of your students and tell them how things can be done differently. It's all about within the context of you being creative, right? And creating fun in terms of the learning process. It's about growth development, macam mana kita nak bawa student kita from mula-mula dia masuk universiti, baru budak-budak yang young and innocent, as they graduate, they become more matured and they're more knowledgeable. Kita yang seronok bila tengok dia successful, alright? And then vision, you must have vision. And yang ini yang saya punya another full-blown lecture that I have is on authentic leadership. Check yourself. Tulen ke tak tulen? Tulen ke tak tulen? Nawai itu kita kenapa? Kita menjalankan sekali ini. Alright? So, please, for me, I do not compromise on integrity. That's why we talk about authentic leadership. Banyak contoh-contoh yang saya boleh berkongsi nanti berkenaan dengan integrity, ethics, and governance. I think my reputation have traveled far, that I don't compromise on integrity and ethics. Next slide. As we move forward, all right, and who are we transformation leaders, right? So, yang satu tu tadi saya kata, there must be strong relationship between you and your students. Then you become an educator that is able to chart. Remember this, yeah? Not every student is the same dalam konteks pemahaman apa yang kita ajar, right? So there must be strong relationship with them. And then of course, we want you to be an influencer, an ideal influence, menunjuk contoh-contoh yang baik, alright? And I said, bring fun to the education system. Bring enthusiasm into the education system. Seronok kan? Sekali-sekala bawa belajar dekat bawah pokok ceri. Apa salahnya? Right? Duduk je dalam kelas, penat. Right? Encourage learning and stimulate creativity. As I said, that encourage them to have their... Saya suka bawa istilah hackathons. Di universiti-universiti di mana saya profesor adjunct, I always bring hackathons to the university where we create creativity. Because I work very well with Huawei. So with Huawei, I work well with Yaxiata. So our partner Huawei and Yaxiata, we bring down to the ground and the students get to do hackathon. Duduk 48 jam, tak balik, letak bin bags dan sebagainya. At the end of it, that we get some creative, we want to see the next unicorn coming in from UNIZA. That's what we are going to do, all right? And also reduce employee turnover. Next, that we are looking at is, so what is this whole thing that is important? It's important for us as we look back, moving into 2023, against the backdrop of slow growth, against the backdrop of recession dan juga inflation, you have to be resilient, right? So, apakah dia kaedah-kaedah the business plan 2023 to be resilient against that backdrop? This whole month, saya punya board, ada 3-4 board semua, we are always having this conversation. How do we remain sustainable and resilient against the backdrop of slower growth? So, yes, you can fall back one step, but remember, we need to actually implement and look for programs that bring us 2 steps forward. Okay? Second, you must have the courage. And this is where, kalau kita baca buku Good to Great, I always go into BHAG, go into big, hairy, audacious goals. take that courage to be brave enough, to be bold enough to do something that's different. All right? Something that university will be known of by UNIZA buat lain daripada orang, not business as usual. All right? Hatch new opportunities. Tengok, tadi saya baru discuss dengan Dr. Syaidah tadi dengan Dr. Nolia. Saya ada satu program under Women Leadership Foundation called Yale. My program Yale is Young Aspiring Leaders and Entrepreneurs, whereby I work dah 6 universiti dah saya buat Yale program ni, di UKM, di UMK, di UM, UniKL, UTP, and the other one is UITM. Now, dalam 6 universiti ni, UITM wanted it to be different for these young aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs. Yang lain semua, year 3, year 4 students, masuk camp 4 hari 3 malam bersama saya. Right? But with UITM, dia kata dia punya problem statement is high percentage of unemployable graduates. So they want us to turn these unemployed graduates to become entrepreneurs. Okay? Masa saya buat dengan UM, alright? UM punya VC gave me a KPI. Kata Hafsah, I want you to turn 6% minimum of my students to be technopreneurs, not just any ordinary entrepreneurs. Okay, I said I can do that. And whom did he put into our class? For 60 orang, for 4 days, 3 nights. Dalam tu medical students, dentistry, legal, accounting, architect. These are professionals. And he wants us to turn them into technopreneurs. Masa mula masuk dalam this Yale program, saya tanya berapa orang nak jadi usahawan? Seorang pun. Saya nanti dah graduate, saya nak kerja, dia kata. Saya tak nak jadi usahawan. Until we have a conversation dengan diorang, sebenarnya boleh kerja. Tetapi bila you dah kerja dengan legal firm, you dah kerja dah dengan attachment dekat hospital dan sebagainya, you can open your own clinic, bukan ke untuk usahawan. Oh, macam tu ya. Macam itulah. So at the end of the program, almost all of them nak jadi usahawan. Semua nak buka klinik, semua nak buka legal firm dan sebagainya. So that's what the understanding is, and how we put them into looking into new opportunities. Technology, I've discussed at length tadi, dengan metaverse dia, dengan AI, dengan blockchain. Tadi saya cerita blockchain, I am a chairman of the blockchain company. So with this blockchain, in the halal industry, we are connected to 150 countries, 147 countries with 87 halal certification bodies of the world. So if you travel anywhere of the world, you download your app, verify halal, you will be able to know where is the nearest mosque, where is the nearest halal restaurant dan sebagainya. And you also know kalau pergi shopping, tahu, masukkan the QR code dan sebagainya, you know siapa manufacturer of the product, license tu dikeluarkan oleh mana dan sebagainya, halal license I mean, and things like that. Alright, so this is what blockchain does in the halal industry as far as I'm concerned. Because baru-baru ni, I'm just sharing with you, I was invited to speak at World Bank. So World Bank was in awe. A Malaysian company buat blockchain, and in this particular case for halal business. We are moving into net zero by 2050. I want to get all of you to stay across. Can I challenge UNIZA? Are you all into this campaign? Right? As I said, for Zurich, kita dah adopt dah 100 acre, 100 hectare that we're going to replant a new forest dekat Sabah. So are we into this game? Please make sure that we part and we contribute towards this net zero that is COP26 and moving into COP27. And importantly, I think what matters most in 2023 is that kita kena align education with the change in technology. And that's what the whole entire conversation is this morning. My last few slides, I just want to end this conversation pagi ini, is the framework. So this framework of the future ready education, kita kena tengok dalam konteks we ourselves dah ada vision on where we want to bring UNIZA to the next level by 2025. Kalau tadi saya dengan Monsyaat kat Arab, dah Arab 2030. So now UNIZA 2030. So you have to have that plan, that vision, all right? And to be able to do that plan, that vision, I repeat for the second time, what you cannot measure, you can't plan. You can't plan, you can't manage. You need data. You need statistics. You need to see where your students are today, where they're going to move into tomorrow on how relevant kita punya curricula is, right? I'm saying that because I am in the curriculum punya team of UTP dengan Faculty of Science and Technology of UKM. So we change the curriculum every 2-3 years to ensure that the curriculum is in accordance with the industry needs. Importantly, in terms of implementation, I want to share with you, you need to monitor and track. Right? Itu blockchain tu. Blockchain is about trackability and traceability. Dia boleh trace. Right? So, and of course, look into the assessment part of it and how you want to refine the whole entire ecosystem. The whole entire framework, as you look into this, it involves things like critical learning for the students. It involves things like creative learning, social learning. And importantly, apa kita dapat hari ini is accelerated learning. And not forgetting also dalam konteks courageous learning. Kena berani. Yang tadi itulah BHAG, Big Hairy Audacious Goals. Kena berani. Alright? And as we move into this future ready education, yang mustahak yang kita kena tengok adalah the next generation. How the next generation will be relevant to what we are teaching them. So the next generation built out kita kena faham. And how do we optimize the whole entire learning mix of sekarang kita tengok the mix of online dan juga offline, right? Non-cognitive factors mustahak kena perhatikan, jangan terlepas pandang, alright? Data science and design thinking and analytical skills. I will keep on talking about analytical skills, alright? And also future ready learning. Yang ini the whole entire framework yang kita kena tengok. My last slide, I hope it's the last. This is where we need to strategize. Yang pertama sekali, kita sebagai educators, turn on your own lights. Check, where are we today? Muhasabah diri kita dulu. Recalibrate ourselves. Recalibrate our knowledge. Are we there? Are we there? As a board member of CIRIM, for example, I found that CIRIM lacks in terms of blockchain specialists, in terms of AI specialists, in terms of no one could speak about metaverse, right? ESG, saya kena turun padang, talk about ESG, for example. And so therefore, what happens was, kita punya dekat CIRIM, in terms of turn your own lights, we now start to send CIRIM officers to do masters and PhD in blockchain, in AI, in dan sebagainya, right? In metaverse, right? Next one, you have to develop and try and test your mindsets, right? And how it fits to the culture of the students. Kita akan cerita pasal culture kejap lagi. And then I mentioned again, analytics. Analytics is so important. I cannot describe the importance of analytics. All right? So anyone who wants to impress me, talk about analytics. Then we are on the game. Okay? Right. And also design thinking skills. Yang ini kena frontline. How we now want to impart that design thinking to our students. Kalau our students boleh faham design thinking skills, you're going to get very good project proposals from them. All right? So yang ini mustahak. Catalyze conversations on analytics. Again, I'm repeating on the importance of analytics. Now, take systems and culture and sync them seriously. Important. Kadang-kadang system and culture dia tak sync. Alright? Sebab different state has got different culture. Students have got different culture, different background. So take that seriously and how we can sync it together. Importantly, for all of you, as you educate and you lead, understand this, you are leading and educating in the age of analytics. And now, you're making yourselves relevant in the ecosystem. All right? And I will leave you with this last piece of quote. Last slide, please. Peter Drucker. That the relevant question, right, is not simply what shall we do for tomorrow. Itu senang. But importantly, what shall we do today in order to get ready for tomorrow? And that's where a tomorrow of a lot of uncertain promises that will be curated by all of you here in this room to make tomorrow a better living. I thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you. Ada soalan ke tidak? Any questions? Dah penat? Nak toilet break?
Datuk ada nak play video yang first?
Boleh tak kita main video yang the first one?
Boleh.
just to share with you about the meaning of relevance. Right? I think it's slide number yang ada mata tu. Okay, thank you. Sementara tu, if anyone got any question? Tak ada soalan?
Assalamualaikum, Datuk.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya Aman daripada Fakulti Biosumber di kampus Besut, Datuk.
Besut, okey.
Ini kampus Gong Badak.
Okay, right.
Bidang saya adalah bidang biologi lah. Secara general nak bagi tahu kepada Datuk lah, biologis.
Ya.
Dan saya juga ada buat beberapa exploration lah untuk sistem IoT, embedded programming, collect data, hantar handphone semua, Datuk.
Ya.
Cuma saya nak tanya pendapat Datuk. Macam saya, asas kita lah di fakulti biologis. So saya dah buat exploration ke arah cross disiplin lah. Masuk macam sains komputer, sikit analitik Datuk. Cuma adakah saya kena terus bergerak sebab apa pendapat Datuk berkenaan master of all? Apa?
Yeah,
Jack
nice.
of all trade. Okay,
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Jack of all trade, master of none.
No.
Itulah. Itu je Datuk.
I would say, walaupun you buat biology, tadi saya ceritakan, although dia buat agriculture, alright, tanam cili, tapi tanam cili menggunakan IoT, right? Menggunakan digitization, precision technology, for example, right? So it's a combination of many. Sekarang ni, it's not something that is definitive, okay? Dia tak ada boundary to it. I would say that please proceed to do what you know best. And I want to share with you one of the things mungkin ya di sini. If at all you need to have a conversation on how does it you punya project and you punya work will be relevant to the industry, let me know. I will link you to the right companies, the right GLC, the right apa yang boleh accelerate and commercialize your technology. Alright? So that's what I do best dekat U-Science Holding. Sebagai chairman of U-Science Holding, one of my work that I do is to accelerate the rate of commercialization of research, okay, and to make it from lab to market to accelerate that pace. So yang itu yang tadi collaboration tadi tu, that collaboration is very important with the industry as the industry take up. And di SIRIM, saya chairman of SIRIM Tech Venture. Di SIRIM Tech Venture is where we help you to understand sama ada your technology is TRL6 or TRL7 or 8 or 9, alright, and we connect you to the funders. Right? So di situ saya mempercepatkan sebab there is a funder that want to actually intake in your technology yang you dah develop and now it gets into the market much easier. And I will just tell you, your technology is the industry is only interested in technology that TRL8 and TRL9. Kalau TRL6 and 7, this is where SIRIM Tech Venture will help you to see what else that you need to tighten the nuts and bolts to make your technology to levels 8 and level 9. I just want you all to see, I hope now that's better, just to see this video. Has anyone seen this video before? Okay, let's see this video. The name of the game is the word relevancy. Can I have this video on, please? Pergi ke tempat putih tu, that line putih, and that's where you click the button and play the video. This is a video from World Economic Forum. Jangan tekan enter. Tekan dekat putih tu, ada keluar the button untuk you play the video. Yang putih kat mata, kat bawah mata tu. Move your cursor.
If you're watching this, you're among the 3% of people that understand that the future of work is going to look very different from what it is now. So keep watching. Let's see where we're heading. It's also exciting, right? Siri will recognize your voice even if you're 5 meters away from your phone. That new chatbot feels totally real. Self-driving cars are no longer fiction. You can analyze your DNA. You tried flying that drone for the first time, and you're thinking of buying a smart speaker to make your life so much easier. A few years from now, and that's something like 3 years, not 30, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, mass 3D printing, biotechnology, chatbots, virtual reality, deep learning, drones, augmented reality, smart objects will all be deeply involved rooted in our everyday lives. Just like computers, phones, or electricity are for us today. Oh well, is this really gonna happen? And if it does, you'll adapt when the time comes, right? Life is good. You love your job. You've been working for this established company for a few years. You're comfortable in your position. You know what you're good at. People like you, and that last presentation you gave got you some amazing reactions. You're safe with your company. In the meantime, you see an article or two speculating on the future of jobs. McKinsey published a report stating that 45% of all current tasks could be automated with present technology. The World Economic Forum estimates that 33% of jobs in 2020 don't even exist yet. But what do they know, right? You've got time. Oh look, the supermarket just introduced self-cashier machine. You're at the airport checking in luggage. What the heck happened to all the real people at the check-in desk? Gone. Replaced by machines. But it's only the low-skilled jobs, right? Nope, think again. In 2012, there were 150,000 humans working on Wall Street. 3 years later, automation has cut that number down to 100,000. That's 1/3 gone. But it's only the mathematical and scientific jobs, right? Nope, think again. This Japanese insurance company, Fukuoka Mutual Life Insurance, is already replacing all its human insurance claim workers with an AI system that will handle customers more efficiently. See these articles? They're written by algorithms, and we can't tell the difference with human written content. And thinking of converting yourself to being an online poker player? Too late. There's an AI that can already beat humans at it. Most journalists, tax consultants, marketeers, technicians, knowledge workers, lawyers, even the person editing this video right now will to some extent have been impacted or automated by technology in a couple of years. And what have you been doing? Probably watching Netflix. And the problem is, the machines don't wait. And the machines, they don't watch Netflix. So what are the forces at play here? Basically, there's 10 million developers out there using increasingly simple and cheap technology to build new products and services. Some as young as 12 are already coding the future. Even that safe company you work for is increasingly under outside threat. And it's not just the Google, Amazon, Facebooks, and Apples of the world that I'm talking about. There are now tens of thousands of startups out there eating away at all sorts of jobs. Now, are they creating many jobs in the process? Let's look at some stats. Travel a bunch of years back to when Kodak ruled the world of photography. They were worth $38 billion and employed 140,000 people. That's approximately $270,000 per employee.
Our people work with pride to make Kodak a creative and innovative company.
Fast forward to recent times, YouTube sold for $1.65 billion with a mere 65 employees. That's $25 million per employee. Instagram, which had 13 employees and was sold for $1 billion. That's $77 million per employee. WhatsApp sold for $19 billion with 55 employees. That's a staggering $345 million per employee. So how is this all possible? Technology has allowed the emergence of what we call exponential organizations. These are exponentially fast-growing companies that leverage technology and require less employees but more tech-savvy ones.
You will find that we are technology optimists. We believe that technology is a major driver of change in the world.
And as software continues to eat up the world, more companies are trying to replicate these exponential companies. Hire less people, but grow exponentially through technology. As this happens, job roles are slowly disappearing and being replaced by skill sets. Employers require you to know an ever-growing number of new and ever-changing fundamental skills in order to use the technologies they've implemented. Master the fundamentals and you can master the rest. A digital skills gap is growing for both mid-skill and high-skill level jobs. Before you know it, you've become irrelevant. But wait, what's this doomsday message? There's actually a way to leverage technology before it leverages you. And in fact, it's never been easier to do so. This might sound kind of corny, but it starts with the right state of mind. It starts with having a growth mindset, where you have the desire and the confidence that you can learn anything. Shift your thinking on how these technologies will rattle and mutate, but enrich your work life. Because yes, if you play your cards right, technology will make your work life and your life in general much, much better. The fact is that technology will actually remove boring, repetitive jobs from your way, but only if you understand the fundamentals. And you have no excuse not to do so. How can you stay relevant if you can't talk the lingo? How can you stay relevant if you can't execute? Can you talk tech? Can you talk APIs? Can you talk code? Can you talk data? While slow educational institutions are struggling to keep up, that's not an excuse. Train yourself. Take your education in your own hands. Learn to code. Learn about behavioral psychology, automation tools, playing with data, user experiences. Be curious. And if you're an employer, train your people. Online and offline courses have never been more readily available or rich in content. It's time to build something. Your greatest credential in this new era is your output of stuff. Proof of your awesomeness. A website, a blog, a prototype, a simple data model. It's time to build cool stuff and showcase it. It's time to start learning. It's time to get shit done. It's time for your growth.
Yeah, it's time to build something. And here is where I just want to mention tadi your biology dan sebagainya. You got a project. I'm one of the judges of the Swiss Innovation Challenge. Right? I'm not too sure. I think Uniza tak ada masuk kot for this year. But I would like some of you who have got your projects, you can come and discuss with me. I would like to put you all into this Swiss Innovation Challenge. It's being curated everything by the Switzerland University. The winner of the Malaysian chapter this year is USM. Nothing to do with me in USM board. Tak ada masalah, tak ada. Because I was very much no conflict of interest. Primarily because this was chosen by the Swiss. Sebab these two lecturers, she went into a nano punya technology concept. Alright. Walaupun the others was very, I would say, attractive, but the Swiss people were looking into something different. So if you have got projects that move into, katakanlah tadi, some drone technology ke, some metaverse technology, they're looking into something like that, some nano technology, right? I would really like to put you on board into this Swiss challenge for next year. And mana tahu you'll be the next unicorn for Malaysia, kita tak tahu, alright? So never doubt your own creativity. You can be the next unicorn. I'm saying that because sementara nak tunggu soalan ya. Dulu saya nak cerita pasal mytaxi.com. So mytaxi.com ni, it was created by empat yang bersaudara, cousins ya, Anthony Tan, Linda Tan dan cousin dia balik daripada Harvard. Di Indonesia dia created Gojek, yang balik ke Malaysia dia created mytaxi.com. So ceritanya they were empat orang stranded nak surprise their parents balik daripada Harvard. Nadim balik ke Jakarta, they were all the same. I don't know, saya tak tahu apa benda dia belajar dekat Harvard, mungkin belajar inhaling business. But yeah, so pada hari itu masa dia balik, they got stranded dekat KLIA sebab taksi-taksi KLIA hari itu under protest, demo. So 4 of them, the cousins put their hands together dekat KLIA and said, we will resolve the taxi problem in Malaysia. Okay, that was the year 2000, mungkin 2009 or 2010 like that, right? So what happens was they developed something and they need help, funds. So bawa ke SME Corp 3 bulan after they curated their programming, and of course pegawai saya reject application. So dekat SME Corp jarang-jarang, kadang-kadang yang reject application, yang reject tu akan bawa masuk ke jawatan kuasa. Sebab saya nak tahu sebab musabab kenapa reject. So more often kita akan approve. So dia kata tu, this project pakai kereta orang. Bukan kereta dia, bukan aset dia, kereta orang. Nanti kan macam cerita Bright Sparklers kat Sungai Buloh tu dia kata. Sebab dulu Bright Sparklers bila on fire dan dia trace dapat grant daripada SME Corp. So I cakap, but this is different. This is not Bright Sparklers, right? This is making use of future technology. One thing I made my team do, every month they kena baca buku. So that particular, one of the books that I asked them to read is Physics of the Future by Michio Kaku. Kenapa saya suka baca buku Physics of the Future by Michio Kaku? Kebetulan, macam gini, saya dijemput untuk give a talk. And my souvenir given to me was this book by Michio Kaku. Saya baca buku tu, right? 2 months lepas saya baca buku tu, the London Speakers Bureau bawa Michio Kaku bawa Malaysia, and there was nobody to sit with him for lunch. So I was invited to please be the hostess for lunch dengan Michio Kaku. Nasib baik nak baca buku dia. Kalau tidak nak cerita apa masa lunch dengan Michio Kaku dia kan. So yeah, so I find the book very interesting. Alright, it's about the technology, the future dalam tahun 2100. Kita baru 2022. So it's about 2100. That futuristic he is. Yang tadilah Salim tu tadi is a good friend of Michio Kaku. Yang tadi dalam video tu tadi Salim Ismail, like Egyptian American yang saya nak bawa next year, right? So, I said, if you read the book, Physics of the Future, you will see that that technology is coming. It's a question of when. It's about making use of people's asset to your advantage, right? So, istilahnya masa tu Airbnb pun tak keluar lagi. Apa lagi Grab, apa lagi Uber. So, baru nak buat mytaxi.com. So, in fact, I was the lone voice. As a chairman of the committee, I want to take a different route, and I would like to approve this application. I want to test it out. After all, bila dapat grant, bukan kita bagi duit. Tidak. Bukan bagi duit free. Dia kena belanja dulu. Dia dah tunjuk receipt, dia dah tunjuk dia punya kejayaan dia, dan dia submit dia punya claim, apa yang dia belanja, kita bayar 50%. So it's not free money, okay? It's not free money. You have to show that you have spent. So he has got to take it upon himself that he wants a return on what he spent on. He met his parents, bapak dia, which is Tan Chong Motors. What did the father say? I sent you to Harvard. It's for you to take over my business, not for you to start a business. Ketika itu, istilah orang yang berniaga is only for dropouts. You're not a dropout. You are a Harvard graduate. I want you to take over my business. And he was so insistent, together with Hui Lin, who I call Linda Tan. No, I want to test this out. This is a good, my colleague in Jakarta, Nadim, has started Gojek. I want to start this in Malaysia with cars. Nadim started with motorcycles. Itulah saya kata tak tahu apa belajar dia belajar kat Harvard kan, semua balik buat e-hailing. So he went against his father's wishes. So the father said, you dare to start this, I disown you, you're not my son. Saya cerita ni sebab diceritakan kepada saya ya, oleh dia. And as typical orang kalau ada apa, bukan dia tak ada duit, dia ada duit kan. Tetapi kalau kita belajar konsep kita berniaga, kita jangan pakai duit kita sendiri, pakai duit orang. So dia nak pakai duit orang as in here, duit SME Corp. So dia pergi jumpa atuk dia, nenek dia. Nenek. Can a nenek say no to your cucu? No, they don't. That's why you can say that, all cucu gets away with murder, right? So nenek, jumpa nenek, tanya nenek, see the grant, the first part of the grant yang selalu kita approve untuk startup, 40,000. So he needs 40,000 first to spend and show the receipt, and then he will claim, he needs to spend 80,000, and he can claim 40,000 from SME Corp. Alright? So, yeah. So nenek bagi pinjam. Dia katakan nenek dia, I promise you, I give you back 3 times. Berani dia. Dia promise nenek dia. So, and the nenek of course made him promise, don't tell Papa. Okay? This is just between you and I. Don't tell Papa. Fine. So 80,000 he spent. 3 months later he came back and says that I've proven. I've already tested it on 6 cars and it works. I now need to ramp up to 60 cars here in Malaysia. And not just in Kuala Lumpur, I want to test cars in Johor, I want to test cars in Penang, I want to test cars in Kelantan, I want to see whether it works, and also Sabah and Sarawak. So dia ada 60 kereta, dia nak from 6 cars to 60 cars, and he wants to ramp it up. So all in all, to cut long story short, he got from SME Corp 400,000 maximum grant. Okay? So dia dah mula commercialize from 6 cars to 60 cars, and he wants to move to 600 cars. So dia dapat maximum. Now he needs to scale up from startup to pre-com to commercialization. Saya dah tak ada duit lagi nak bagi dia because according to kita punya policy, you can only give to one company maximum 400. So, meantime, my colleague bawa jumpa Khazanah, bawa jumpa all these equity funders, semua kata no, you're too new, and I don't believe in your concept. You're using people's assets. Again, the same story. Now, what did I do? Saya call Arwah Nazrin. Arwah Nazrin from Cradle Fund. I talked to him, I got this company. And this company, I think, is a next unicorn. And he says, it's quite difficult, Arwah kata, because, again, dia punya business model there is unusual and doing something that's never been done before. because never been done before lah, yeah, to try and help this company and see whether we can do something different. So arwahnya said, because it's coming from me, from SME Corp, he says, okay, we'll invest in this company. So if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, he got another 250,000 from Cradle Fund. Kalau tak silap saya. Satu ketika, dia dekat SME Corp ni ada satu program called Enterprise 50. Enterprise 50 program ni, dia list down the top 50 enterprises in Malaysia every year. 50 syarikat akan disenaraikan, right? And typically lepas Enterprise 50 punya announcement keluar, akan datang di pejabat saya, fund managers daripada Australia, daripada US, daripada Jepun, daripada mengata. And also one of them is from Temasek. Always come to my office every year. Kebetulan, that particular day Temasek was with me having a discussion. And Anthony was outside the meeting room together with my colleagues, my friend, discussing on where does he move from there. Dia dah dapat pada SME Corp, dia dah dapat pada Cradle Fund. Nampak gayanya yang lain difficult to lend to him because he is into business at that time less than 12 months. So as you understand, financial institution, bank semua kalau nak bagi kena ada 24 bulan in business. Anything less, bank tak boleh nak bagi. So they are stuck. Habis mesyuarat, saya keluar bilik dengan Temasek punya team, and he was there. I said, Anthony, what brings you here? So dia kata, I'm just discussing with Chai and see what else, how do we move on from 600 cars to 6,000 cars. I need to what do you call it, to get the numbers so that this mytaxi.com comes into being. So, and therefore, dia pun, I discussed dengan Andrew from Temasek, look at this guy, he's doing something unthinkable of. I said, I ceritalah apa dia buat dan sebagainya. So dia kata, let me have a look at your business and how we can help you. And of course, Temasek had a look, and then they pumped in, the first round was 35,000 Sing dollars. And then after that, they have to move up to bigger things, right? 35,000 is just baru nak, istilahnya baru put a foot into Singapore. And they have to ramp up, and they need 6 million. So, to get 6 million, 3 syarat diberi. Nombor 1, syarat yang pertama, they have to be majority shareholder, not mytaxi.com. Given lah kan, sebab they are the ones that invest. Nombor 2, if you're going to be listed, you're going to be listed in Singapore Stock Exchange, not in Malaysia, because you're a Singapore-owned company. Number 3, you need to change your brand. What does mytaxi.com says? My stands for Malaysia. Okay, you need to change that brand from mytaxi.com to another brand. Pecah kepala fikir kan, brand apa? What's so difficult? I grab you from Malaysia, Grab it is. But that's how Grab was born. Right? So that's how you get Grab, and Grab belongs to Singapore. Because we were not able to actually introduce them to some of the equity funders. Masa tu dia orang baru lagi, less than 24 months. Right? So itu yang cerita tadi tu, it's about believing, it's about trust, it's about getting the vibes that are in you. And if you're creative enough, if your students are creative enough and you believe in them, please talk to us. All right? This is where I hope that I'm able to connect you to the right sources, or where you can get your funding, or where you can accelerate your research, and where you can be made more visible. And that's important. Because ultimately, what you're going to see in future is all tech-based. Macam kita cerita tadi itulah in our conversation, right? It's all about tech-based punya kind of livability that will define the future for us. And that somehow, all of you in this room today, I do hope, wherever you are in, whether you buat social science ke, whatever you buat humanities ke, apa semuanya, remember this, it's all got to be tech-based. Okay? Tak ada soalan? Ada soalan? Kaum Hawa, tak ada soalan? Anyone? Yes. On kan dia.
Good morning, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all, I would like to thank you. I really enjoy your talk today. I can see that you're passionate and well-versed on technology and current and future trends. Is there any reference that you refer to that I can look at too, because like for the current and the future trend as well?
Yeah,
so, thank you.
I think what happens is, as I said, one of the important things that define whether we are in trend is to, number one, to have a networking. So a lot of, I have conversations dengan tadilah saya cerita Cranfield University and also my I have got close relationship dengan Oxford dan sebagainya. So I keep trends with them, right? And the other thing is about look at the books. As I said that dekat Semicorp tu kita ada Oasis. What we create is Oasis of knowledge. Sebab itu setiap bulan somebody must be giving out a book that they read and share. So yang tadilah macam Physics of the Future. There's also another book by Michio Kaku that we have now. On Peter Drucker, juga something that you want to see the latest, because I'm quite close to the punya co-writer, co-author dia, who is Indonesia, Pak Hermawan. If you all want to bring Pak Hermawan into Malaysia, you let me know. He's so eager. Selalu kalau saya jemput datang Malaysia, dia seronok datang Malaysia. Pak Hermawan, the co-author. And that one is not Peter Drucker. He is a co-author to Michael Porter. Beg your pardon. And also, I think what you're looking at for me, I keep trends by having conversations with my younger generation in my family, dengan my nephews and my nieces. So daripada my nephew, I learned about metaverse, for example. So kata, I better know this subject matter so that I'm always in tune and having conversations with him, for example. Ya, umur saya, as I say, I'm nearing 70. I'm nearer to 70 than 60. So therefore, I need to keep tab of having conversation dengan diorang. Right? So having relationships with your students, relationship as in terms of technology dan sebagainya, and talking to them, that to me helps a lot. I love to talk to the young ones on technology in that context. Yeah. So banyak buku sebenarnya dekat luar, and I don't know whether you are into e-books, for example. But for me, I also subscribe to what you call Harvard Business Review. And from Harvard, I take in a lot of the trends that's coming in into to make sure that I stay relevant in this ecosystem, right? Kalau tidak, I become archaic and I become a dinosaur in my family. Okay. Anyone else? Dah lapar? Okay. Time check. What time is it now? 12:08.
Ada satu lagi soalan.
Satu lagi.
Datuk.
Okay, please.
Assalamualaikum, Datuk.
Salam.
Sometimes bila kita expose student dalam kelas, as example, kita bercerita pasal drone ambulance, so it can sound as a theory sebab student ni dia tak nampak depan mata. So, is there any chance atau possibility untuk student UNIZA to get engaged in the real circle yang mana bila kita bercakap pasal benda tu, dia tak nampak as a theory, dia nampak macam, dia nampak depan mata.
Good.
So, thank you.
I like that question. As you speak about drone, what comes to my mind is Kamarul daripada Aerodyne, right? Aerodyne was nothing before, right? Aerodyne come only into being the last, 6-7 years ago. As we speak about drone technology ni, contoh lah tadi ya, contoh, kadang-kadang macam tadi lah, student tak boleh relate sebab dia tak nampak. But yet, here you got UTM in particular, I think it's the UTM yang the students start to move into this drone technology. Let me know, you all mesti ada CEO at campus punya program kan? If you want to get some of the CEOs to come to campus and share with your students, katakanlah nak bawa Cik Kamarul daripada Aerodyne Technology, ataupun nak buat somebody that is in charge of ESG ke, ataupun nak buat somebody into environment ke, I'll bring you the right person that will stimulate and create more interest from the students. Alright? Macam saya lah baru-baru ni, as we were having our board retreat and they brought in Dr. Zaiman. Dr. Zaiman did his PhD in Switzerland on, he graduated, kalau tak silap saya, in engineering, but he moved into environment because he was so much involved into it. And all of us fell in love with the project that he had, that we wanted to sponsor. So kita ambil 100 hektar dekat Sabah, just macam tu. And because of the passion in his work, now we want to get involved in his work. So if you want to talk about environment and you want to talk about technology, what do you call it, drone technology, or you want to talk about medical. One of the things that I was trying to push for Malaysia is to be the #1 halal, the first halal vaccination punya plant in Malaysia. Saya punya dream as a farm niaga punya chairman dulu, a few things, right? I wanted to do the drone. I have already charted farm niaga punya roadmap sampai 2025 to be 5 billion company. And one of the things is that we want to be the first in the world to produce and manufacture halal vaccines. Because do you know that kita punya vaksin polio ke measles ke apa semua imported? Did we check on the source of those vaccines? Halal ke tak halal? You know, so yang benda-benda macam gini lah. Kalau for you all, you want to have that conversation, you just let me know. I will connect you to the right people. Have a program, CEO at campus, once a month. So 12 bulan ada 12 CEO at campus that can talk to the students and try to inspire and create enthusiasm in the students. Then you can see benda-benda tu happening on the ground, for example. All right? So yeah, do let me know. You have my number tadi. Can you all put the last slide? Last slide, so that you can connect to me. Saya dah orang bersara ya. Saya tak ada PA, tak ada driver, bawa kereta sendiri semua sekarang. So please contact me. Can you all put the last slide? Somebody up there, so that you have my contact number and you just WhatsApp me or send me an email. Okay. Or you follow me on my LinkedIn pun tak ada masalah. Okay. Anyone else? Yep. Silakan. Boleh tak letak that last slide? Who is in the room? Managing the slide ke atas?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih Datuk, dan tadi banyak perkongsian Datuk berkaitan dengan teknologi, digitalization dan sebagainya. Saya sebagai orang yang dalam bidang, bukan bidang teknologi secara khusus, apa barangkali nasihat Datuk kepada kami yang berada dalam bidang religious studies dan juga sains sosial untuk bagaimana untuk dari sudut peran serta ataupun turut menyumbang sama dan memastikan soal relevantization ya terhadap teknologi ini dalam bidang kami. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oh, seronok soalan tu. Macam mana kita nak letakkan bidang religious affairs onto a digital platform dan sebagainya ya. I just want to share with you that some of the things that saya buat dalam halal industry is moving towards religion. Alright, memang banyak kita buat pro bono mula-mulanya is moving untuk nak menghalalkan the ecosystem, create a halal ecosystem for the ummah of the world. And sekarang as we talk about how I connect religion to the industry is where suddenly semasa saya bercakap dekat Aman, ini semua kerja Allah, bukan kerja saya. The biggest of one of the richest, biggest company dekat Aman have contacted me, and he want to put me together into this. Dia kata dia nak belajar daripada saya. Saya malu sangat saya. Dia kata dia nak belajar macam mana nak supaya dia punya whole ecosystem tu is being made more halal. And I've been connected together semasa saya mula nak dijemput oleh Tesco pada hari raya yang kedua. Saya berada di England dan Tesco invited saya pergi ke dia punya distribution center di UK. So what he did was, what was the problem statement? Can you tell us, macam cerita Wagyu beef tadi tu, can you tell us how can I make Tesco in UK halal outlets? Right? So therefore, we started at the distribution center, and I told him, in that context, number one, you must have a halal food, halal cold room, you must have halal food truck, semua tu, dan halal storage. So, and tell him what needs to be done lah. So dia cakap, I only thought that it's about slaughter, halal ni. I didn't know that cold trucks also must be halal. So dalam konteks itu, bila kita sedarkan kepada mereka dan kita bagi ilmu kepada mereka, dan mereka faham bahawa it's a whole entire supply chain yang kena halal. And dekat Jepun, saya emphasize on Toiban, right? As you emphasize on Toiban, you understand that for the Japanese, it's sap-sap-soe. It's simple, because they have been practicing Toiban all along. But they didn't realize that by having Toiban punya concept, their Wagyu beef is not premium. Sebab their Wagyu beef is not just halal, but their Wagyu beef is being prepared in a Toib punya environment. And that demands a premium price. So, kalau kita menggunakan agama in this context, right? In terms of tadi saya kata livability of cara kehidupan kita, alright? Saya rasa itu adalah satu yang lain daripada lain. Maknanya kita pakai konsep itu untuk ummah sedunia. So this guy, Muhammad Zahid from UK, now he's putting me into on his board together dengan yang lain. The rest are all Arab and also the UK people, Mak Saleh semua tu. I'm the only Asian into creating what you call the World Halal punya platform. As now, because he recognized that the company that I'm the chairman of, it's not my company, it's another ladies company, is now providing that blockchain punya specialty. Kita integrate blockchain into agama, blockchain into halal. Alright? So bila kita masukkan konteks itu dan kita dalam blockchain itu ada yang saya letakkan satu hadith and hadis. So what is hadith and hadis? Hadith is halal punya development that yang kita letakkan punya council. Halal Development Industry Council. And hadis is where kita letakkan ada audit. So it's a halal audit industry system. Kita createkan a system on a platform, digitize it, so that boleh di-audit online. Alright? So yang backing us up is JAKIM and the Halal Development Corporation. And also di-backup oleh JPH, which is Jabatan what is P? Agama Indonesia. Okay. So this is where tadi nak masukkan agama, nak masukkan religion into the industry and using digitization. Kita gunakan digitization tu, kita gunakan teknologi tu untuk cara kehidupan kita. So therefore they see more fun, not just religion, belajar religion per se, but the context, the practical part of religion yang kita jadikannya sebagai cara hidup kita. And I think that is even more better and more appreciated by the ummah of the world. Alright? So therefore, dengan this UK partners, what we are putting on, they're using our blockchain technology into yang kita faham konteks trackability and traceability of the raw raw material dan sebagainya, dan kita tahu bersama ada at the end of the supply chain halal ke tak halal. Dalam cerita tadi, istilahnya is a whole entire ecosystem. Imah, dia punya cold trucknya, dia punya cold roomnya, semuanya, the handling of it, semua-semua, the whole entire thing must be mengikut the Syariah principles of Islam. And we also introduce dalam konteks ini, of course, Islamic financing. Right? Barulah halal all the way. Saya ditanya oleh, saya tak nak sebutlah nama siapa, tapi salah seorang royalty. When he found out that I was moving into Famaniaga, bila saya ada majlis bayar zakat ketika itu. So he says, Hafsah, why is it so important that you want to ensure that kita punya vaksin tu semua halal? So I had a discussion dengan tuanku. Saya, tuanku, are you aware that all this while there was never a halal vaccine in the country? It's all imported. Polio ke, measles ke, kita punya yang antigen tu semua tu, it's all imported. But kalau kita produce, Malaysia becomes the halal vaccine producer of the world, we are producing to the rest of the world. At least to the Middle East countries, to the African countries, it comes from Malaysia, halal vaccine. Yang itu yang orang tak pernah ternampak. Kita selalu tengok vaccines from Russia, vaccines from UK, vaccines from US is the best. Have we not seen that our people are also capable of also producing vaccines? Right? So That was why we moved into that kind of discussion. Pada saya, is our role, right? And our responsibility to the ummah. That's our role. And itu menggunakan agama, menggunakan religion. Tapi pemahaman tu kena ada. Right? So pada saya niat mustahak. Niat. Not to the point of kita nak nak jadi billionaire ke apa that out of it, but actually kita punya niat is kita nak sediakan the right facilities to the ummah, and insyaAllah akan dipermudahkannya. InsyaAllah. Okey, ada lagi? Nan? Tadi satu je kaum Adam berani kan? Lain tak berani. Semua lepas tu kaum Hawa je yang datang. Okey. Anyone else? Nan? Tak ada. Okey. Kalau tak ada, saya ucap terima kasih kepada Yuniza, kepada Prof semua yang hadir pada hari ini. Dan saya minta maaf kalau saya tersilap kata terkasar bahasa when Murphy dropped by to disturb on the technology. This is where Murphy's law is always apparent. I never take Murphy's law for granted. Tapi alhamdulillah dapat kita selesaikan. Kalau tidak, saya harap saya dapat jumpa tuan-tuan, perempuan semua, doktor-doktor, profesor semua dekat Kuala Lumpur satu hari nanti, manalah tahu. I will look forward to your innovation, to your creativity. Do contact me, do come and see me if at all I can be of assistance to any one of you. Alright. Sekarang wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Majlis mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah binti Hashim di atas penyampaian beliau yang cukup menarik sebentar tadi. Jika saya boleh berkongsi, antara intipati yang dinyatakan oleh Datuk Dr. Hafsah ialah sebagai, if I can use English, if we need, as future educators, we need to align education with the change in technology. And as future ready education also, we have to make the content relevant to students' lives, and we have to create opportunities for students to interact with each other, teachers, as well as other knowledgeable adults in a conducive learning experience. And she also mentioned about 4 contexts of future ready education and future ready educators that we need to anticipate and aware of the circumstances, predictive and adaptive of the emerging technologies, trend in business, as well as social environment impacting in the industry. Therefore, as future-ready educators, we need to take at least 3 steps to reflect on our educator mode, to emphasize on collaborative communication with the others as well as with the students, and to ensure that we collaborate with educators and policymakers to ensure that the talent mobility and development of our students will be relevant for future industries. Majlis mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih sekali lagi di atas segala perkongsian dari penceramah kita pada pagi ini yang telah banyak memberikan input kepada rakan pensyarah untuk meningkatkan lagi kompetensi pensyarah bagi melahirkan dan menyediakan graduan untuk menyertai industri pilihan mereka nanti. Dipohon Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah untuk terus kekal berada di atas pentas untuk sesi penyampaian cenderahati. Majlis dengan ini menjemput Yang Berusaha Profesor Madya, Teknologis Dr. Syadiah Nur binti Wan Syamsuddin, Pengarah Pusat Pengurusan Kecemerlangan dan Inovasi Akademik, bagi menyempurnakan penyampaian hadiah cenderahati kepada Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah binti Hashim dengan diiringi oleh Yang Berusaha Dr. Nolia binti Muhammad, Timbalan Pengarah Bahagian Pengurusan dan Pembangunan Akademik. Majlis mengucapkan terima kasih. Mohon Memohon agar semua para hadirin dan hadirat dapat hadir ke tengah Dewan untuk sesi bergambar bersama tetamu kehormat kita. Bergerak ke tengah Dewan seperti yang akan diarahkan oleh juru gambar.